Broadcasting to you live from the Orion Spiral Arm of the Milky Way Galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere outside of where Bill and Hillary Clinton are testifying. My name is Brian Engelman. Today is Thursday, February 26, 2026. And this right here, the thing that you are watching is called the TNAM Daily Show here on the new American media, because the old American media has failed you. So, Bill and Hillary Clinton, they're going to speak, huh? Really? Really? Will the depositions be limited, according to Liz Harrington? Russiagate 10 years ago? Are they gonna face justice? What about what's going on in Haiti? What about the Epstein mess? I mean, for the love of God. We got a lot to figure out here, don't we? Are we really going to get anything from these depositions? Well, oh, just in, under oath, Hillary Clinton says she does not have any information on Epstein and also doesn't believe she ever met him. Nick Sorter says she never met him, but Bill flew with Epstein on his plane at least 27 times. If true, that makes Bill even more suspicious. Okay. Well, we're going to take a look at what people are saying there. We're also going to talk about how Democrats hate America. The choice is crystal clear. You watched the line of delineation. You watched women's hockey, and they're pretending there's a scheduling quirk, but then you hear the captain saying that she didn't like the tone of when President made a joke. Well, we're going to unpack what that really means. It's an epic fail. More the awfuls, angry white female leftists, ruining sports, ruining society, ruining politics. I'll tell you why in a second. I'm tempted to go into my rant, but I'll save it. I'll save it for when the story pops up in the feed, and a whole grab bag of other stories as well. The way that we get these stories is we have collated. We have built a vast network of sources over the past 10 years on Instagram and 15 years on X. So we're going to ask that you follow us in all the places. On Instagram, we're the New American Media. We need 20-something more subscribers to go live. We used to be able to go live, and then they took it away. I don't understand what they're doing, but it's a meta product. Also, Facebook Marketplace took down a post that we had, said it was counterfeit. There's nothing counterfeit about it except their removal of the post. There's no making sense of social media. You get to the point where you just put your hands up and go, why do I even try? Why do I even bother? Why do I even bother trying to work in this ecosystem that clearly hates me? Well, it's probably because 80% of the world is common sense, normal people. I did reply to that in a post that we'll get to later today, but we've never been a 50-50 nation. 80% of the people or more want clean, safe communities, cities, states, clean and safe. We want opportunities, and we want you to get out of our face. That's it. All this other stuff, it's noise. We don't want that. Clean and safe communities, opportunities, stay the fork out of our faces. That's what we want. But what do we get? Another meddling bureaucracy. To paraphrase Norm Macdonald's favorite punchline to a joke by David Letterman. Ruined by another meddling bureaucracy. But I think we are a common sense nation. We just have to get back to it somehow. How do we get back to it? You got to point and laugh. You got to demand better. Have higher standards. And we have to learn a little bit, We have to spread the message of freedom and liberty. But that's what we do on Instagram and Facebook and X. Just search the New American Media on most platforms. We're going to be doing 2 new things. We're going to get the Rumble wallet. I don't want to download another app. I don't want to know. It's just, eventually you have too many apps, or you take a couple videos and you run out of storage, and then everything's out of storage, and then you got to just, everything is something. Everything causes a butterfly effect with something else. Once again, in another episode of How the Sausage is Made here at the TNAM Daily Show, it took about 45 minutes to make a grok image today, and it still wasn't the right image. It wasn't in the right dimensions, and they kept messing up the second image. It's what we used as a thumbnail today. Oh my God, is it frustrating? Oh my God, is it frustrating? My kingdom for a Jamie, someone that can just handle the things. Let me be the idea guy. Just the good Lord, in 15 years of doing the New American Media, has not allowed me to just settle into a post where I can focus on my skills. I have to become a jack of all trades and do things that I'm not good at. I don't like doing. I don't like editing. I don't like the video or the image generation. It's just, everything's a glitch. Everything wrong size, wrong dimension, saved to the wrong spot. Can't access it. It's like, but yet I persist. Why do I persist? Because I feel like I have something to say. And if I don't do it, it's not going to get done. So there are parts of this job that I fucking hate. But I persist because I think the news sources that we've collated over the past 10, 15 years, they're valuable. People often ask me, like repeatedly ask, where do you find your stories? Where did you get this stuff? And I'm like, bro, I don't know. I don't watch legacy media anymore. I haven't watched cable news unironically. A clip here, a clip there. I'll play you some CNN dopey clips. I got a clip from Gutfeld today talking about how Ilhan Omar makes him ill. Very suiting name, actually. I don't know if he made that joke, but the joke was sitting there. Gutfeld's funny. But I don't watch that stuff anymore. I'm in my own little universe, finding the stories that I believe are important. And if you watch this program, then you must believe they're important too. So thank you for being here. Hit like, hit the thumbs up button, hit subscribe, share the show with a friend. We see our numbers growing over here. That's great. We need to double these numbers and then double that. We need to grow. We need organic growth. Go to our Instagram page, please. Everybody go over to Instagram, the New American Media, scroll through, like many posts, drop a comment, not just a sentence, a couple words. It lets the algorithm know, hey, more people want to see this content. Because then you'll get some organic growth. We have been stifled underneath a glass ceiling. I've talked about this for so many years. And it's tough because I sort of grew up in a household where everything was a complaint. Grumble, grumble, grumble. But like the older you get, the more you go, yeah, I get why you're grumbling about everything. Everything sucks. Everything's broken. Nothing works right. Everything's a hassle. Oh, great. Now I got to do these 3 things today. I don't have time for this today. But that's life. But in order to try to combat that growing up in a grumble household, I try real hard to not make excuses. Find a way. What's the Pussifer song? I like doing song lyrics. Let's see. Pussifer lyric. Let's see if I can get it. Hey, Jamie, pull up the... so it's from the 2015 album Money Shot. And the repeating chorus line is, find a way through, around or over, find a way through, or around or over. It repeats a bunch in the song, often layered with backing vocals and building intensity. It's a spoken word intro about humanity in the modern age, and ends with the famous line, we will never know world peace until 3 people can simultaneously look each other straight in the eye. Find a way through, or around or over. The song Simultaneous by Pussifer. I try to find a way through, around, or over. And in some ways I succeed. In some ways, looking for a better way. No, I didn't forget the wallet. I'm looking at the comments here. I'll say hi, y'all, on Rumble. We got people in chat. Yep, got to make sure we smash that thumbs up button. No, I didn't forget the Rumble wallet. I've been looking. Is there a way to sign up for this without having to download another effing app? And it's like, fine, you got to download an app. It's like, I've deleted apps that I was using because you start running out of space. I know it's goofy, but a couple of videos and you're out of space. I'll put it in the cloud. I don't want the shit in the cloud. Now I'm just arguing with myself. And I'm like, fine, can I just set it up on the computer? Nope, can't do the computer. It has to be your cell phone. Fine. It needs your biometrics. I don't want you having my biometrics. Well, that's the only way you can do it. Fuck. Everything you try to do, there's 6 things to get to that. Oh, I want to do this task. Great. But in order to do that, you got to do these 6 things to open it up. It's like, damn it. I'm trying, y'all. Trying to find a way through, around or over. But I'm one dude, and this is not my forte. Ask people that know me. I'm the idea guy. I am not the nuts and bolts dude. But here at the New American Media, I handle all the nuts and bolts. And I have to find a way through, around or over. But please go on Instagram, is what I was saying, and drop some love, drop some hearts, drop some comments. Because we're going to try to find a way to stream on that, and we're going to try to set up a TikTok. I don't want TikTok. I got to have TikTok. I was told 3 years ago, people making fortunes on TikTok just covering the news. I just don't want a Chinese spy app on my phone. I don't fucking want it, but I have to, right? I have to. I don't want it, but I have to. Fuck. It gets like... Who knows? Maybe the show would have organically grown leaps and bounds, millions of viewers by now. We'd be the #1 podcast around had I just gotten the Chinese spy app all those years ago. I don't want it. But I got to get it. But I resist it. I don't know what the glass ceilings are exactly. Some of them self-inflicted, and some of them, I think we're just on a list. YouTube doesn't want our show to grow. Every time we get new subscribers, they take subscribers away. I mean, we've stayed almost exactly at the same 4,200 and however many it is. No, how many subscribers? 6,000? We have 6425. We've been stuck at 6420 for like 3 fucking years. I'm out in the universe meeting people. Oh, show me that I subscribe and the numbers go up, and then they delete accounts. They keep me at 6420. Just keep me at 60. How often have you ever unsubscribed from an account? I almost never have. But it happens to us nonstop. And it does start to feel like, what's the point? But I think the point is I find interesting news. I present interesting perspective. I try to add unique, original, transformative commentary worthy of your time. Try to be entertaining about it. I try to instill passion into my takes and perspectives. And I try to have fun with it and add some humor. So that's why I do what I do. I'm going to keep doing it. At some point, maybe I'll have to do it early morning. At some point, maybe I'll do it in the evening. Going to keep doing it. For now, we're Monday through Friday at noon. Tell your friends. Share the show. Link up with us. And let's start that program today. Let's start it right now and get it going. This is the TNAM Daily Show.
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.
Thank you so much for being here. Trash Panda Texas in the house. Lake Leon, Marion, John. What's up, everybody? David checking in. Kenneth. Hi, everyone. Hi, everybody. Hi, Dr. Woke Nick. If you know, you know. Guess what? If it isn't my old friend, Mr. McGregor, with a leg for an arm and an arm for a leg. Good times. Hi, Kenneth. Hello. Who else is in the house today? What in the F is she talking about? Wait, who's she? Wait, which one is she? Is that Marion or other? Was I talking about other crazy ladies today? I mean, I guess I did mention Ilhan Omar. What day is today even? Is it a Wednesday? It's Thursday already? What the hell is going on, man? Is time moving faster? Or is it just me? Hello, Richard Taylor. Thanks for being here. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with a friend. We loathe them. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't want to hate the Democrats. Like, they're our countrymen, allegedly, but they've turned into traitors. They're not even on our team. They're actively trying to destroy this place. You know what? I'm not going to fucking let them. I'm not going to let it happen. I refuse. I'm not playing that game. I'm not going to let it happen. I'm going to resist. I'm going to fight. This country is worth saving. In my estimation, at least. But yes, in turn, we end up loathing them. I got some charts and graphs to show you where Americans used to land on the spectrum of loving America, this and that, and just a huge divide. Did that start in the Obama years? We'll break it down exactly. But things have changed. There is no more getting along with people that want to destroy you. There's destroy them or be destroyed. And it's destroying the toxic ideology, not so much the person, because we don't believe in violence like the left does. The left doesn't care. They want to explode President Trump. They want to explode Charlie Kirk. They hate you. This isn't me warping your brain with propaganda. This is me trying to preach some self-awareness, self-defense mechanism inside of you. Click on the light switch and look around. You got monsters. That's Skrillex, that song, Scary Monsters. Flip the light switch on. Look around. Because stuff is weird, all right? So, anyway, there is that. Counterfeit, a.k.a. out of shape. That's a good phrase. Maybe when I'm doing my Bobby Kennedy impression, I could talk about our currency, the fiat currency, and then maybe say that it's essentially counterfeit. Counterfeit being the opposite of being in shape. So yeah, I'll see what I can do with that. Oh wait, Lake Leon says no. I mean, forget about getting the wallet. Why'd you say forget about getting it? I should have it. It's another tip jar. So speaking of tip jars, let me put the tip jars on the screen. Thank you to everybody who has supported us. We have now moved past our lowest month. Let me click on the analytics here, at least on the YouTube channel. Thanks to your support, we have now surpassed November, which was our slowest month, and we're within $15 of October. So we have 2 days left to get past that, and then it'll be like another 30 to get to September, 45 to get to January, and then another 90 to become the December month. But yeah, we have now surpassed our low month, so that's good. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, we're about 15 away once they take their fees, 15 or 17 away from surpassing October. And then maybe just 40 from getting to September. So yes, our Rumble rants and super chats are super crucial to keep this show plugged in because $300 heating bill in the office, $300. Yeah, electric bill, heating bill. That's not to mention the $470 for the Restream 12-month package and all of the other expenses in life. So it's all appreciated since there are so many glass ceilings from keeping us having organic growth on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all the meta stuff on X. Your donations matter the most. So right down at the bottom, consider subscribing to Patreon. Everyone sign up for our free Patreon. It costs $0. You can at least then you'll be connected. If everything went sideways the way that it did during Biden and all of our social media is down, we would give you all of our shows on Patreon. But there is a paid version. We usually post twice a month, so that's $10 a month. You can help us there. There's monthly subscriptions on Rumble and YouTube. You can sign up there. Thank you to everybody who has and everybody who's considering it and everybody that will. And you can drop Rumble rant tips and super chat tips, as well as it's all scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Venmo and Cash App. It's just my name, Brian Engelman, no spaces. And then PayPal, fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com. All of these are tip jars. So when you say, where is that? Lake Leon saying, forget about getting the wallet. Why should I forget about getting the wallet? I need to get it. It's yet another collection plate to pass around the church. Nobody's going to put anything in it if I don't pass it around. If it doesn't exist, I can't get anything. I think I want to do that. Right? So anyway, I'm going to try to set it up. It's another thing. Maybe I can put it on another device. Maybe it doesn't need to be. I don't know. Everything's too damn complicated, but I'll try. Oh, Hillary, you were saying, okay, she's the one. She's shitty and everything about everything. Oh, shifty about everything. What is Hillary talking about? Okay, gotcha. Thank you. Yeah, that's why I say when you drop comments, try to type whatever comment it is as if it's a standalone sentence. Like Hillary's full of shit or Hillary's shifty or whatever. Like then when I scroll through, I'll go, oh, I know exactly what we're talking about. Because I go back and try to read some of these. Loving me some America. Yeah, you know what? It's cool to be American. And there's a lot of things we got to fix, but this whole Democrat, I hate America shtick, it's worn thin. Shut up. No, I'm tired of taking your abuse. I'm tired of taking your insults. I'm done. Nope. It's cool to be American. You're a dork for being such an asshole, such a bitter, angry, divisive Democrat all day long, bitter and angry everywhere you're at. No one likes you. No one wants to be around you. Snap out of it. Aye. Remember the Chester the Cheeto? Aye. I love that noise. Yeah, but I'm loving me some America too. What is this? Lake Leon says, I spent what I had in the Rumble wallet. Oh, okay. Well, I'm still going to get it. You told me to get it. You have every right to tell me to get it. Like, I'm not getting the notification on my Rumble stream anymore. So like I forget about it. And then I remember, oh yeah, if it was there, somebody with crypto in their wallet could drop something over as a donation. I want the donations. No. We need the donations to fuel us. Just like we need blood inside of our body to continue. We need those donations. So I will get that set up. Marion's like, yes, they're talking about Hillary, not me. All right, sorry. Yikes. Marion catching strays on behalf of Hillary Clinton. Anyway, let's get to the news, shall we? Instagram is paused. Okay, now it looks like we found it. Good. Let's get this pulled up. Once again, everybody follow the New American Media on Instagram. I love how it's blocking this picture out. Take a look. Oh, there you go. You saw Gavin Newscomb talking about, he was talking to a bunch of, what was it? It was like a gathering of African Americans in Atlanta or something. And he's like, I got a 980 on my SAT. I'm a dummy. Look, I can't read. I'm just like you. Like, what the fuck did you actually say? Mix in Joe Biden. Look, if you don't know whether to look, here's the thing. If you don't know whether to vote for me or Trump, then you ain't black. Come on, man. If you don't know whether to vote for me or Trump, then you ain't black. The fuck did he just say? These are the Democrats, the most racist people on earth. And they're constantly whining about it, pointing their finger at everybody else. But you know what they say? When you point your finger at someone else, you have three fingers pointing back at yourself. And then Reverend Jesse Newsom. But this is also funny because in Netflix, they take the white characters and they turn them black. They're doing it with what they do it with Cleo. They've done it with a whole laundry list of things. I don't know if it was Cleopatra, something about Vikings. They love race swap. Disney loves doing it, erasing white people at every place they can. It's just a strange fascination with them. I've never once looked at a black character and said, I need to change that character white.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what you're doing with Jesus Christ. Jesus wasn't a white guy, but your picture depicts him as a white guy.
I'm just so sick of the left. Everything is a fake outrage. It's just the theater kids. This is great though. He looks like Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder, doesn't he? But this is funny because all the reasons, him trying to pretend like, look, I'm just like you. I'm dumb and I can't read. Like, what the fuck? Remember Joe Biden? He goes, I don't look, here's the thing. Poor kids. Look, all right, hold on. Here's the thing. What did he say? Hold on. I want to get the quote right. I can do the impression better. Let's see if Grok can give me this quote. Look. We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. No, I really mean it, but think how we think about it. Wealthy kids, black kids, Asian kids. There's a notion if you're poor, you cannot do it. But poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. The fuck are you talking about, Joe Biden? Oh, I didn't even see this GIF on the side. That is Robert Downey Jr. there in Tropic Thunder. I need to watch that. Absolutely hilarious. Oh, Lake Leon, you said you have the Rumble wallet on your page. You're accepting tips. That's awesome. But yeah, Gavin Newsom just pretending he's poor like you, pretending he's dumb like you. I think it was Nicki. Did I even read the Nicki Minaj? I don't think I read it. I don't think I even got to that story, whatever day that came out. I'm going to share this again because I had it in my stack. Let's see if I can find the post. All right, I'll play this one too. Okay, got a couple stories. But yeah, Gavin Newsom is absolutely terrible. President Trump saw that and he's like, Gavin Newsom just withdrew from the presidential race. I mean, there's no coming back from this. President Trump is asking for a loyalty oath because there's wolves among the sheep. And he says, hey, look, let's come together and stand up. There's just reaffirm the fact that you work for the American people and not illegal aliens. The Democrats sat there. That applause line went on for like 2 minutes. They just sat there seething. They don't work for you. They hate you. They want to replace you. They want to destroy this nation, Cloward and Piven style, overthrow it, collapse it under the weight of welfare systems, bankrupt us, and then install Marxism, and we lose our freedom and liberty forever. That's what they stand for. Democrats hate you. Let's keep going. Gavin Newsom. Do you see this? Colin Rugg says, new Texas Whataburger manager goes to town on a customer with a trash can and a fry basket after the man tried attacking staff. By the way, how awesome is this? Hello, Tom. Hit like, hit subscribe. I know you're calling it begging for donations. Bro, like, if you didn't know that we had the places to donate, how would anyone ever donate? We can't exist in this social media landscape where we've been shadow banned for 15 years. But we've been the same stuff Ben Swan was getting right 15 years. We've had Ben Swan on the show 3 different times covering Pizzagate. Guess what? The Epstein files finally proven. Do you see the intro to the show talking with Ben Swan and Charlie Kirk and John McAfee, and they go down the laundry list. And I keep, once again, I'll have Jamie do it. I need to do a new intro because I want to put about 40 other interesting interviews up there. But yeah, we've been doing this for a long time, and we've hit the glass ceilings. We cannot find organic growth. So when people find us, if they like us, we do ask for their support, of course. I mean, I could be selling you my brand of coffee. I could be selling you my survival seed bank, my solar panels. I could be selling you a warm hoodie, all the same commercials you'll see on a Rumble ad. I do an advertisement for myself during my show. And no, it wasn't 30 minutes of begging for donations. Jeez, come on now. And no, we're not skipping over the real issues. We're just now getting to the real issues. Gavin Newsom is allegedly going to be the leader of the Demon Rat Party. I did say that, but I want to emphasize Demon Rat, not Democrat. And he's a complete train wreck. They have nobody in their bullpen. Their starting pitcher is getting shellacked, as Obama said, talking about how they got shellacked in the midterms, famously. Gavin Newsom is allegedly the standard bearer for the Democrat Party, and so we led with a Gavin Newsom story. And we're all over the place because these are the stories we found on Instagram. We found them interesting. No, we're not skipping over the real issues, man. Give us a second. We're getting right to it, Tom. You're right that Democrats do hate white men, especially, but they will put you up there if you're a white man, if you talk shit about yourself and about your race constantly. Joe Biden, Alejandro Mayorkas. Look, I'm serious here. We're white people of European descent. We're gonna be a minority in this country, and that's a good thing, Jack. That's a good thing. Because he's an Obama puppet. He's got Obama's fist up his ass, saying whatever he wants to say. That was Obama's third term. We know it. That party hates straight white men, straight white Christian men. Can't stand them. You know why? There's a moral compass. Not to say there's not a moral compass on anybody else, but specifically the Christian part, there's a moral compass. You're willing to lay it down for your integrity. Lay it all on the line. That's not somebody you can manipulate and control. Now, the awfuls, I got plenty of disdain for the awfuls, the angry white female leftist. Oh my God, they're the most manipulatable, brainwashable, self-loathing, Munchausen mommies. Like they drink the poison and say, "May I have some more? I have some more poison, please." It's awful. They have a great acronym there. So, yeah, we are speaking truth. The Democrat Party hates white America, hates men, hates white men, hates Christians, hates straight people. It's just everything is just venom and fangs, horns, teeth. Anyway, I don't know the backstory of this, but Colin Rugg is reporting 41-year-old Anthony William Neuhuis, N-E-W-H-U-I-S. New Huis was arrested following this incident. New Huis, who was drunk, was previously ordered out of the restaurant. The man promised to come back and assault the manager after the cops left. New Huis kept his word and eventually returned. According to witness Billy Jones, when New Huis returned, an employee hit him in the head with a wire fry basket, knocking him to the ground before he was beaten with a trash can. New Huis left and was found behind the restaurant in the parking lot. He was arrested and charged with assault, causing bodily injury, public intoxication, and criminal mischief. Brutal. But you know what? It is time to defend America everywhere, in our schools, in our politics, in our fast food joints, everywhere. Like, enough with the bullying stuff. I kind of love them. If anything, just a little frustrated that it's not continuing. Don't you dare mess with food stuff. That was one of my favorites. What a burger. Now, what a beating.
Oh, yeah, right now. The dude that we talked about earlier came back.
I'm working for service, but I don't like this. And also, it's fair if you're expecting something and they're not delivering, call them out. Take your beating, punk. It makes my heart sing to watch it. What a burger, what a beating. I mean, he is swinging like frustration.
Americans will soon be a...
Hey, now wait a minute. Where's this guy? Are you still in here, Tom? Or did you bounce out? Tom, give me a comment. Are you still here? Tom Harris, 5661. Are you still here? You said that Democrats hate white men especially. Bro, please tell me you're still in the room to see this. This is a whole segment about what you're complaining about, because it is happening and it's a major part of today's show. You want fries with that punk? You got to read it like Dirty Harry. Here's your Democrat legacy media who hate you. Listen, they're openly advocating white genocide, according to Elon Musk. Spoiler, kill all white people is the theme of the compilation. Ready?
Soon be a minority, and that's great.
Whites will not be the majority. I mean, it's an exciting transformation of the country.
Oh, that's so exciting that there's fewer of me. What the fuck is wrong with you, Anderson Cooper?
An exciting evolution.
Oh, that's so exciting. What an evolution. We were so devolved with all those dumb white people. Oh, the Democrats.
And, progress of our country.
Now we're progressing because there's less white people. What the fuck are you talking about?
You're going to be a white minority very, very soon. I'm okay.
Oh, you're so excited about that. Are you, Mark Cuban? Oh, my God.
Okay with that.
If things are so bad, as you say, with the white working class, don't you want to get new Americans in?
America.
Yeah, get rid of those awful, terrible white working class, huh, Bill Kristol?
It's going to look very different in 100 years. You're not going to be able to tell you're black, you're white, you're Hispanic, you're Puerto Rican.
Oh, that is their dream. Mix it all together. Then there's no difference with anyone anywhere, except there will always be cultural differences.
Whatever. It's going to be very complex, and I think ultimately that's going to be good.
White.
Well, that's so good if you can erase white people.
Americans feel that they're losing their country. They're losing ownership of the country.
Do you mean when you import non-Americans to steal our resources? Every college is supposed to have admission standards. You're supposed to have high standards, and you're bringing in low-quality people, criminals, unintelligent people, people that aren't bringing stuff to the table, that can't take care of themselves. Now we have another dependent we have to provide for? No, the best of the best, just like a college admission, just like the NFL draft. Yes, David, it's just insane, people who are happy trying to make us the minority. They're addicted to it. They hate us so much. I don't hate other people the way that they hate me, but I hate them because they hate me. President Trump said something like that at the Charlie Kirk celebration of life. Just You know, I don't forgive. I hate my enemies. Yeah. If I got to meet my maker, and that's the worst thing I have to say is that when I felt an existential threat coming for me, I identified them as a threat and I acted accordingly. If self-preservation is an instinct that you possess, I suggest you do what I say when I say. If my help isn't needed here, boys, best of luck to you. No, Mr. Wolf. No, Mr. Wolf. That's from Pulp Fiction.
They're right. In the end, they are not the future.
For the first
Oh, white people are not the future. Yeah, they'll put all of these white cucks up there. They'll make their millions, and they'll throw their own people under the bus. Absolute sellouts. What is the phrase for a white sellout? I hear there's a bad one in the black community where they call someone an Uncle Tom or something. Let me ask Grok. Is there a derogatory phrase for white who sells out white people, like Uncle Tom? Race traitor. Is that it? You say particularly within a white nationalist, far-right, or supremacist circle, describing a white person as betraying the white interest, white identity. No, they see that's bullshit. Even how they're saying that, like, there's nothing white nationalist or far-right or supremacist about not wanting to destroy your own culture. That's insane to destroy your own culture. No, I mean something like Uncle Tom, which originated from a literary character, Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin, later twisted into a slur for subservience to whites. Race traitors more straightforwardly about perceived disloyalty or betrayal. White sellout, graham cracker, jokingly for a white person acting. No. Quisling. Quisling's a great one. Norm Macdonald used that. Benedict Arnold, but that's not race specific. Those aren't good comparisons. There really is no comparable term for whites like Uncle Tom is to blacks. I can't think of one. But when you see Mayorkas and Biden smiling and laughing about we're not going to be the majority, and that's a good thing, Jack. That's a good thing? No, it's not. No, there isn't. We need to come up with a term, chat. I don't know how. We need to come up for a term for this. Nilla wafer. Yeah, they're like, well, Oreo and it's this and that, and no, it's just not the same. All right, here's Jimmy Fallon.
First time in American history, the number of white people went down.
Can you believe cheering for that? Who would cheer for that? An anti-white racist that's not white, that hates white people. Could you imagine how disgusting that is? For the first time, the population of Puerto Ricans went down. Yeah! Yeah! Do you feel a little different, a little icky hearing it that way? Or you're a white person and you've been brainwashed to hate yourself because the media and academia have been poisoning you since you went to school. Imagine cheering for that. At the Jimmy Fallon's face, he's like, ew, that's gross. He's looking at the audience with disdain. And now he's laughing like, what the like, hold on, why are you cheering this?
White population is declining for the first time in history in America.
White people will not be the majority in the country anymore.
This will be the first generation ever in American history in which whites will be a minority.
Treason.
By the way, Tom Harris, are you still here? This is the story you were hoping to get. Tell me you stuck around for 5 minutes. Welfare check for Tom. What's his name? Tom Harris. Welfare check. Are you still here? This story is exactly for you.
To whiteness is loyalty to humanity.
To abolish whiteness is to abolish white people.
White people are committed to being villains in the aggregate, right? We gotta take these
Right.
motherfuckers out.
We gotta take these motherfuckers out, she says.
Was it or was it not the duty of every good revolutionary to kill all newborn white babies?
We have to.
And you see non-white on white crime through the roof. I sadly cover this every month, whether it's Irina Zarutska. I go down the laundry list. Every month we're covering stories of this. Non-white on white attacks. Totally random. Brainwashed into the heads of non-white people to hate white people, to attack and kill white people. Over and over and over again. And when you call President Trump Hitler and Nazi and fascist and he's disappearing people, they are so complicit.
To kill white people.
When do we start killing white people?
I don't want to say
Oh, that's so funny, you piece of garbage.
we need to go start killing all white folks, but it's like, but maybe.
But maybe. Just so rolls off the tongue, right? Rolls off the
When
tongue.
we say we want to kill whitey, we don't really mean we want to kill whitey. We do.
We have
The fuck? You just what?
to exterminate white people off of the face of the planet.
When they tell you who they are, listen to them. By the way, that's not every non-white person. That's the ones that say stupid shit like this. You better believe they mean it.
To solve this problem.
Solve this problem. God, I might have been out there that day with both of these people. That's Savannah Hernandez and this girl that constantly whips her boobs out. Paints herself.
White people! An unrelenting.
Here you go. This is the one I was talking. An unrelenting stream of non-white people to replace white people. And that's a good thing.
Stream of immigration. Non-stop.
Non-stop. Like I had when Kamala Harris was the border czar. Come on. Unrelenting stream of non-white immigration. And that's a good thing. And that's a good thing. Because I got rich off of this. I sold my people out, my country out. And that's a good thing. For me.
Non-stop. Folks like me who are Caucasian of European descent will be.
By the way, watch this demon, this little elf, this gremlin on the right, light up with glee. Mayorkas. He's like, yes, yes, fewer whites.
An absolute minority in the United States of America. Absolute minority. That's not a bad thing. That's a source of our strength.
Americans.
That's the source of our strength. Removing white people is a source of our strength.
Will soon be a minority, and that's great.
And that's great. God, do we dislike Colbert enough? Democrats loathe us. Oh, I do think it's please, once again, sign a life check. Is Tom Harris still here? You were talking about how Dems hate white men. I mean, had you given it 5 minutes, like this is literally the story that was second up in the queue from that point. You should have loved this segment because
Americans will soon be a minority.
All right. Well, what happens when you import non-Americans into America, huh? How does that go? Does that usually work out well? Let's check in. This would be a Missouri highway. Eric Daughtry reporting that there's a foreign semi-truck driver spotted barreling down a Missouri highway in the wrong direction, directly into oncoming traffic. Truck is reportedly registered to a Minnesota-based company. You've got to be kidding me. This is how Americans get killed.
How much of a winning issue it is.
18-wheeler going the wrong way down southbound 61.
Wrong way on a freeway.
He is on the northbound lanes of 61, going the wrong way.
CDL system should be fully federalized.
You can see I'm going southbound on 61. He's in the northbound lanes on Highway 61.
No, this person was not arrested. Driver was unable to properly read or identify basic road signs in English. No impairment. Driver was placed out of service per federal guidelines. They could not continue driving commercially. Trucking company cargo transport based in Minnesota under investigation by Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, Department of Transportation. I'm sorry, why wasn't this person arrested? Missouri State Highway Patrol stopped the driver. No information.
How much of a winning issue?
The driver is undocumented, illegal alien.
18-wheeler going the wrong way down southbound 61.
News Nation affiliate KTVI says he's a Somali descent driver.
He is on the northbound lanes of 61, going the wrong way.
Happened yesterday or the day before, but why wasn't he arrested instantly?
You can see I'm going southbound on 61. He's in the northbound lanes on Highway 61.
Wrong way driving alone when it doesn't result in crash, injury, property damage, or evidence of impairment often doesn't rise to the level of criminal arrest warranting custody. What? Near Troy, Missouri. Inability to read, identify basic English road signs, which violates federal commercial driver safety standards. So who approved this guy? Out of service is not enough. How is this not a felony level endangerment?
How much of a winning issue it is? How much of a winning issue it is?
Be careful out there on the roadways, people. Lauren Boebert is calling on Congress to expose the congressional hush money slush fund to the public.
Congresswoman, so obviously you called on Congressman Gonzalez to resign over alleged sexual misconduct. There's now a resolution that would reveal a lot more about the culture of sexual misconduct in Congress. Are you supportive of that, despite Congresswoman Mace?
I'm absolutely supportive of Congresswoman Mace's resolution to uncover the other sexual harassment issues that take place here in our nation's capital. And even further, I am supportive of releasing the Congressional Hush Money Slush Fund. There's been tens of millions of dollars that have been paid out over the years here in Congress to keep Hill staffers quiet about alleged sexual misconduct and other forms of mistreatment in the office. So I would love to see every congressman who's ever had to pay a settlement to a staffer, and I'm certainly supportive of Nancy Mace's resolution.
I guess what would be your message to a staffer who finds themselves in these terrible situations where members are being creepy to them?
I mean, it's awful. It's awful in any workplace. It certainly shouldn't be held here. We have high standards. We agree to these standards. We promise hundreds of thousands of people that we are leaders of integrity, and it shouldn't be happening here.
Got it. Thank you, Congresswoman.
Yeah. I think we could release the names. Lake Leon says that's BS with that driver. Heck, you get a ticket parking on the wrong side of the road. Marion says, I wonder if the cops didn't witness the wrong way driver, if that's why they didn't arrest him. He should have been arrested. That is just gross negligence. Emphasis on gross. Speaking of gross, yeah, release the names of the gross people who are using the Congressional Hush Money Slush Fund
Congresswoman.
Yeah, what the media tries to do to all of us. Take a look. Time magazine wants to glorify and elevate this lady. What's her name? Chu or Lu or something? She won a gold medal for China, but she's trained in everything in America. Sold America out. U.S. media tries to turn her into a hero in the face of Time magazine. The hockey hero wins a gold for USA, and the U.S. media turns him into a villain for being patriotic. This is your media, and this is why you get so many awfuls, so many angry women. Eileen Gu, there's the name. It's up at the top there. I just noticed that. And this is Jack something. Jack the hockey guy. But this is the poison that the media feeds you. You got to do.
I will.
I mentioned Ben Swan earlier.
I will.
There's music here, but let's go.
I will say I've got a great friend, Ben Swan.
I think this is like Radiohead. I have to mute this. Terrific investigative journalist who was laser focused on Pizzagate. But it sounded so insane to me that I was like, come on, man. What are you doing? You're going to kill your career with this Pizzagate thing. And then we see these emails last week about, take a Viagra and then we'll go get some pizza and grape soda. Ha, ha, ha. Oh, hold on. 10 years ago, I was covering the topic
on Twitter, but the claim of pedophile elites
preying on children was so insane, Pizzagate was shrugged off as a wild fever dream of conspiracy theory. I was the first mainstream reporter to dare give the facts surrounding Pizzagate. Just days ago, the largest dump of Epstein files revealed that some of us have been trying to tell you for a decade. And Pizzagate is real, now that there's a pizza parlor at the center of a child trafficking ring. And that's what's up. But that there are child trafficking rings run by some of the most powerful people in the world. Yeah, I was having a conversation with somebody, and they're like, I can't believe you're saying, no, that was bullshit that the Comet Pizza. You're like, it's not about Comet Pizza. These people fixate on little points. It's like, no, it's directionally true. I don't know if people are being intellectually honest when they do that or not. Or if someone's like, I can't appreciate the performance at the halftime show from Kid Rock because 25 years ago there was a line that he rhymed mandatory and statutory. Oh, he's a creep. Everything he's ever done or ever will do is thrown out. It's like, nobody's talking about that. You're bringing up something that, nope, it's relevant. I can't believe you'd even... Are you for real right now? Like, what are you doing? No, it wasn't about Comet Pizza. I told you it wasn't about Comet Pizza. It's a lie and it's fake. You go, no. CP is for riled corn. CP, cheese pizza. That's what it's about. It's not about Comet Pizza. Some people still want to look at what we know and try to debunk it. It doesn't really make a heck of a lot of sense. Corrupt media. What are you gonna goo? Eileen Gu. What was Eileen's story? Quick story of being an American traitor. She sold us out and went and skated in the Olympics for China instead of America. She trained in America, was raised in America. Maybe Grok will give me an answer while it's thinking. U.S. upbringing. Born in 2003 in San Francisco, American father, Chinese mother, grew up in the U.S. Elite schools, trained as a freestyler. Initially competed for the U.S. in junior events in 19, but at age 15, she announced she'd switched to represent China, her mother's homeland. to inspire young girls there and promote the sport. The decision sparked backlash amid U.S.-China geopolitical tensions, with critics like former NBA player Enes Kanter Freedom labeling her as a traitor for allegedly prioritizing lucrative Chinese endorsements. Yeah, they said the same about LeBron and Nike. Estimated in the millions over her birthplace while still living and studying at Stanford in the U.S. Controversy intensified during the 22 Beijing Olympics, where she won 2 golds and a silver for China, becoming a national hero there, but facing U.S. media portrayals as an ungrateful sellout or a national security concern. Flared again in 26 Milan Olympics, where she added more medals, including golds, prompting figures like U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance to question her loyalty and call her actions a betrayal of American opportunities. Defenders argue athlete nationality switches are common, often benefiting the U.S., rooted in personal heritage rather than politics, and that the traitor narrative reflects xenophobia or double standards for Asian Americans. Gu has shrugged off the criticism, focusing on her achievements as the most decorated female freestyle skier in history while maintaining dual cultural ties. So here's the background there. So, yeah, Ben Swann was right. I guess this is John Carricow shouting out Ben Swann. Yep. We've been on this story for a very long time. And while it feels gross to know we were right, the vindication is therapeutic. Okay, Ben Swann, everybody. Rashida Tlaib was caught chanting KKK while everybody else was chanting USA. She hates you. She hates this place. Jesus of love. Yeah, she is clearly saying KKK. Rashida Tlaib. How the hell did she get in Congress? That whole gross squad. Anti-Americans, all of them. The squad are a bunch of anti-American agitators who need to be voted out of office and deported if we can prove they are here illegally. Did Omar fake marry her brother to cheat on immigration process? Keep hearing that. Well, the Dems did start the KKK, so there's no doubt.
I have to point out, Ilhan.
This is what I told you about earlier with Greg Gutfeld. This is basically the extent of where I find clips from Fox News. When they repeated the Fine People hoax with Chris Wallace in the 2020 debates with Trump and Biden, I was done. When they tried to slander Trump, I say, you called Nazis fine people. No, he fucking didn't. Everyone knows he didn't. And the fact that Fox News would lie about it to kneecap the Republican, Fox was dead to me at that point. Absolutely dead to me. Anyway, here's Gutfeld talking about how Ilhan Omar makes him sick, makes him ill.
I have to point out Ilhan Omar. She repulses me, and I'm trying to find out why, because she's not unattractive. She has an unusual amount and kind of anger. Mm-hmm. She has no right to that level of rage in the United States of America, the country who gave her corrupt ass a new life. It's not.
And by the way, the disdain toward America that the awfuls, the angry white female leftists, keep providing, it's not earned. America doesn't deserve that rage and hatred. You've been brainwashed by those teachers and the leftist media. Snap the fuck out of it. This is a great place. And you got to get over this constant anger and bitterness and division. You got to get over it.
Not like she's a homeless Vietnam vet who can't get services and should be enraged at the government. She should be kissing the ground she walks on instead of spitting on it. And her anger is also reminds me of the radical who, given power, would destroy you. She would show no mercy for you if you were below her. Like, the look on her face is somebody who would step on your neck instead of giving you a hand. And that is not the kind of person we should have in our leadership. It's not the type of person we should have in this country. And if we find out that she screwed up on her immigration stuff, she's got to go.
Yeah, she should be thanking President Trump for finding fraud.
I have to point out Ilhan Omar. She repulses me.
Yeah.
I have to point out Ilhan Omar.
Recently stated.
Oh, yeah, Ilhan Omar demonizing white men. God, you know, it's a shame that that person, this Tom Harris, didn't stick around. We've asked for a sign of life check. Are you still around? Because so much of this show is exactly what you wanted to hear talked about. Dems hating white men especially. But you felt like rather bashing a white dude for letting people know that we have tip jars available so that we can try to earn a living here. You wanted to bash that effort instead of just shut the fuck up and listen to the show. Because half of it's been about the topic you were hoping for. But I digress. Here's, I forget this reporter's name. Is this a lady with Mike Lindell TV? Forget her name. Talking with Ilhan Omar about when she said our country should be more fearful of white men.
Recently stated that the American people should be afraid of the white man. They should be fearful of the white man.
I never said that.
Yeah, but you're on video saying it.
Our country should be more fearful of white men across our country because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country.
No, I did not.
Yes, you.
Again, this is like what I said. You need to prepare.
But I think the American people really want to know how you went from a negative 65,000 before coming into Congress to over $30 million in just 7 years.
My disclosure is public now.
Yeah, it is. And so a lot of people now are looking into that and finding S. Crew Winery, a winery that doesn't actually seem to exist. Is that a real winery, or?
Do you all actually look at and read things, or do you just ask silly questions?
Well, it's listed in the financial disclosure, so can you explain it? Because we have a lot of questions about it, and things just aren't adding up. There's no real phone number. There's no real location.
Why, did you want to buy some wine?
Probably not from you, to be honest. Recently stated that the American people should be afraid of the white man. They should be fearful of the white man.
Democrat Party.
I never said that.
Yeah, but you're on video saying it.
Our country should be more fearful of white men across our country because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country.
Yeah. Do you really want to do the racial demographic breakdown of the violent crime in this country? You really want to do that? We've done that over and over, and no, it is not. No, it is not. Good times. Good times, everybody. Yeah, I know that was funny. Do you want to buy some wine? Not from you. Yeah. I say I digress. The food was fair, but I digest. That was funny. I call meter maids fine people. A lot of fine people. Fine people.
Recently stated.
All right, so what's this? Noticer says a schizophrenic African immigrant. Was this a real story? Can we confirm this? What is this? Stephen Eddington. It's not reported in Oh. Oh no. Okay, they're citing this here. Cernovich reposted this. All right. Schizophrenic African immigrant who slaughtered 3 strangers in Nottingham was free to carry out his rampage because mental health workers feared detaining him would be racist. An inquiry heard. Huh? Stephen Eddington says the Nottingham killer who murdered 3 innocent British people was nearly sectioned before his murder spree. Sectioned, I guess that's arrested or something. The only trouble, he was black. The NHS deemed that too many black people get sectioned, and therefore sectioning him would be racist. Grace O'Malley Kumar, 19 years old, Barnaby Weber, 19 years old, and Ian Coates, 65, were all stabbed to death by this man 3 years later. They say the Nottingham triple killer carried out an earlier violent attack after being released by mental health professionals who had considered the overrepresentation of young black men in custody. So Ilhan Omar, you want to say that the white men are the problem? That's so interesting. A public inquiry had been told. Valdo Calocane was in the grip of psychosis when he tried to batter down a neighbor's front door, frightening her so much that she jumped out of a first-floor window and badly injured her back. Mental health professionals had been leaning towards sectioning Calocane, who had been arrested for criminal damage earlier that day for attacking another neighbor's door. However, he was released after the team of professionals considered the research evidence that shows overrepresentation of young black males in detention, the inquiry was told. There's no such thing as overrepresentation. There's arresting violent, crazy people. That's it. Act a certain way, receive certain punishment. That's it. But there's a system in place that tries to constantly demonize white people and constantly excuse non-white people. It's disgusting. I told you earlier, 80% of the world just wants a clean, safe environment to live and work and travel and play. Clean and safe. Crime, trash, clean and safe. We want opportunities, and we want you to get the fuck out of our faces and leave us alone. 80%, probably more. But this backward type of logic that wants to, well, this person, underrepresentation, overrepresentation. No. No, we want qualified, competent people, and we want the bad people locked up. That's it. Doesn't matter what you look like. But the Democrats are obsessed. The globalists are obsessed with this strategy. Fallen Firebird says, that thing that never happens has happened again. Check in on Polymarket. Man, that Tom would have loved this show in particular. There's so many stories he would have liked. But he wanted to talk shit and say, I'm begging for donations. Yeah, I'm talking about the donations. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. What a shame. If you were still here, you might really enjoy a lot of these stories because this is what happened to be worth talking about today. Continuing on, Polymarket says Norwegian scientist has suffered brain damage after testing the Havana Syndrome audio weapon on himself in an attempt to discredit it. Holy shit. Ryan Saavedra says, from the Washington Post report, working in strict secrecy, a government scientist in Norway built a machine capable of emitting powerful pulses of microwave energy, and in an effort to prove such devices are harmless to humans, in 2024 tested it on himself. He suffered neurological symptoms similar to those of Havana Syndrome, the unexplained malady that has struck hundreds of U.S. spies and diplomats around the world. The Norwegian device was built based on classified information, suggesting it was derived from blueprints or other materials stolen from a foreign government, this person said. Okay. So it's real then, and it always was real? Then who deployed this exactly and why? Fridge says this bomb I made with plans from the government won't explode. From the disintegrated scientists. Yeah, how do you block?
Over me!
Oh, turn the radio up for that sweet sound. Make me lose myself. Ahmed Y is saying that this was counter programming and that they want to run our country. What the F did I just watch? This was the Democrats' counter State of the Union event? Is this real?
Over me, singing songs like, hey, Mr. Tangerine Man, get rid of brown people for me. I'm Aryan white, there ain't no place I'm going to. And then all of a sudden, he's not ready for primetime elves.
They want to run your country. Don't let them.
Elves, over me.
All right. What a strange day of the news. I don't even know what's going on anymore. All right. Let's switch over to our X feed. Please make sure you're following us on X. We're at American_media_. Pinned at the top here is our Patreon link. You can sign up for our free one and for our $10 monthly or $100 monthly or $1,000 monthly. They're all appreciated. Thank you so much. We told you about Nicki Minaj. She went off on California Governor Gavin Newsom after a speaking engagement in Georgia where she thinks he was telling black voters they're probably stupid to their faces. I'll get to more on that in a second. Joy Reid explains why Nicki Minaj is no longer cultural cool in the way that she, an angry semi-bald woman whose show recently got canceled by MSNBC, clearly is. I'm not convinced. But look at this panel here of dopes and watch how they heartily agree with her.
There's a reason that the other side is
everyone nodding in unison. It's like watching a Muppet show.
Giddy about having Nicki Minaj, a rapper they despise, a rapper they don't respect, a rapper most of them probably have never heard one of her songs, and if they have, they're horrified. The reason they want her on a leash as their house pet, cuddled.
Oh my God, on a leash as their house pet? Holy shit. Dems say the darndest things, don't they?
At Donald Trump's feet. The reason she is the new house pet is because
ugh, doesn't that feel vile? They think they're getting one over. They're disgustingly racist saying shit like this.
They need NEED, black people, to give them cultural cool. Black cultural cool has always been a powerful.
I'm loving watching the exaggerated head motions. And this demon down here, this lady is the worst.
Powerful element in the country. Candace Owens was brought into Turning Point USA to do that, to recruit rappers, to recruit Kanye West for a reason. It's not like they like rap music, but they needed Candace to do that. Well, Candace has gone off the field. She's no longer playing ball. So since Candace isn't playing ball, they need a new Candace. So they tried Amber Rose, but Amber Rose is not popular enough with black people and also says she isn't black. So that didn't really work. They moved on to their next gambit.
She says she isn't black, isn't she? I don't know.
Which is to get the Trinidadian who doesn't care about the killing of Trinidadian fishermen, the rapper who hates the female rapper who hates other female rappers, who hates on women who are more popular than her, Cardi B, people who are better at cultural marketing than her. She'll never be Rihanna. She'll never have a brand like Rihanna. She'll never be Beyonce. She's a 40-something-year-old black female rapper who clearly don't care that much about black people or immigrants, even though she was an undocumented immigrant. She's the perfect foil to replace Candace. Nicki is the new Canvas. They wouldn't want her if they didn't need cultural cool. Their problem is she ain't cultural cool no more. So the Barbs, Nicki ain't shit and she ain't saying nothing. And 100 little Barbies can't tell me nothing. Y'all mad about it? Be mad about it. But she not gonna work. But they're gonna keep looking for somebody black to be the face, to put blackface on MAGA, and they know that cultural cool matters. That's why they're doing it. I'm done.
Whew. And you wonder why she was removed from her failing MSNBC show. Yikes. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Hey, reminder, this is who the Democrats think is going to become the next president of the United States. Not a chance.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you.
And he's used this phrase a couple of times. It's so cheesy. I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. Shut up, dork.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. You know, I'm a 960 SAT guy. And, you know, and I'm not trying to offend anyone, you know, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy.
Nobody laughs at Gavin Newsom jokes like Gavin Newsom.
I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech. Maybe the wrong business to be in.
Nicki Minaj says his way of bonding with black people is to tell them how stupid he is and that he can't read. This means my first read on him was correct. He's been handed so many things and put in high positions he never earned or deserved. Do you want to know the craziest part of this footage that will haunt him forever? He's literally slowing his speech down and talking in a sporadic cadence. He's not just telling them that they're all probably stupid and probably can't read. He's literally slowing down his speech to make them understand the words that are coming out of his mouth as if they're children. That means he really believes they're slow. He's not just saying it. He didn't misspeak. He believes it. Do you love it? Do you just love it, black people? There's your Democrats for you. All right, DC Drano. By the way, look, I'm an equal opportunity commentator here. There's no one group that I won't run my mouth about, that I won't provide unique, original, transformative analysis about. I don't care what people look like. I don't care what side of the aisle they're on. I despise the glyphosate thing. It makes no sense to me. And I'm going to call that out and rail about it. I'm going to keep talking about that. I'm going to bash Gavin Newsom. I'm going to bash Joy. I don't care what you look like. Guy, girl, confused, doesn't matter. Republican, Democrat, independent, libertarian, confused, doesn't matter. It's about the content of the stuff that's happening. Utah Senator John Curtis apparently is opposing voter ID. DC Drano says he's only been a senator for 1 year and already looking like one of the absolute worst in the GOP. This is out of control, people. This backstabber was actually a registered Democrat for many years of his adult life, Mitt Romney's little rhino puppet. How could you possibly oppose voter ID? Democrat from 2000 to 2006. Jeez. I know people can change, but come on. Eric Daughtry says, breaking, at least 4 Republican senators are a no or leaning no on a talking filibuster to pass the Save America Act with 50+1 votes per punch bowl. Senator Tom Tillis is currently a no unless he sees a clear plan to pass the bill without nuking the filibuster. Senator John Curtis warned that if this process upended a Democrat amendment spree, he wouldn't vote to table their amendments if it means changing the Senate's rules. Other problematic senators are Mitch McConnell and Lisa Murkowski. That brings our 53 GOP majority to 49 votes. You need 50 the whole way through to get this done. Senator John Thune has said discussions are ongoing and that the GOP must have a guaranteed unified front to win a talking filibuster. We need to get them on board. This is an 85-15 issue. Our country is absolutely fucked if we don't fix this. The Skiff reports that a 2010 Clinton Foundation email showing that Smartmatic allegedly rigged the elections in Haiti and the Philippines. Listed below, according to the Skiff. The skiff writes the communication was done through a third person because BC, Bill Clinton perhaps, couldn't engage or talk to them about anything to do with elections directly. SGO, Smartmatic executive, and 3 others are also facing DOJ charges amid allegations of election contract bribes, paying $1 million in bribes to the Philippines' top election official. One Smartmatic official fled the Philippines to Texas as a fugitive to evade prosecution. New allegations against Smartmatic executive and company's voting machine contract with LA County. The U.S. government is seeking to show a pattern of corruption among Smartmatic executives that allegedly involved bribes and money laundering, new court filing shows. Prosecutors say one of the executives of the voting machine company transferred an undisclosed amount from the $282 million LA County contract into the slush funds in 2019. The patterns don't lie. Smartmatic is corrupt and is engaged in massive fraud allegations. This is the great awakening that elections are being stolen in every country, not just the United States, according to the skiff. You say President Clinton, the name is Smartmatic, Bob Nash, from Bob Nash to Laura Graham, alleging they just completed a successful election in the Philippines, also extensive experience in many places. They are one of the top 3 most successful companies in the world in this line of work. I hear their thought on the Haiti elections. Okay. Hillary Clinton says,
You didn't have to listen to Trump's rambling speech last night to know that Republicans are trying to make it harder for millions of Americans to vote, especially married women. They've already made it clear it's time to fight back.
What a dork. Tom Catman says, you didn't have to listen to a Hillary Clinton State of the Union ever. Good job, America. Good job. Hillary Clinton testifies in the Epstein probe. Here we go.
Is over hours from now, but the Associated Press is reporting Hillary Clinton in testimony says, and she's under oath, she has no information on Epstein's criminal activities and never recalls meeting him.
Under oath.
That may be true, but I think the question is, what about the money? I think what you're going to see from this, again, no allegation of necessarily breaking the law, but what about the money? I think the money trail is the primary question, or one of the questions that the Clintons are going to ask. Hillary Clinton's going to be asked. Donations that went into the Clinton initiative. What about the Global Foundation? And what were the introductions? Because the soft power of having a former Secretary of State or having a First Lady making introductions, opening doors, there are going to be a lot of questions about that.
Is over.
Yeah, but Bill flew with Epstein on his plane 27 times at least, according to Nick's order. If true, that makes Bill even more suspicious. Representative James Comer discussing Bill and Hillary Clinton. What about their ties to Epstein and Maxwell?
House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer. Great to see you today. All right, lay this out for me. I mentioned, the back and forth to get them there, and now you've got them. What happens next?
Yeah, well, finally, they're going to have to sit and answer questions under oath to Congress about their knowledge and involvement with the Epstein criminal activity, as well as with Ghislaine Maxwell, who was the primary co-conspirator, the one who was responsible more than anyone for luring the girls into Jeffrey Epstein's world. So one of the questions that we all have in both parties is, how was Jeffrey Epstein able to surround himself with the most powerful people in the world? If you saw Hillary Clinton's interview a few days ago, she acted like they barely knew Epstein and Maxwell. Well, that's funny because Epstein was in the White House 16 times while Bill Clinton was president, and then Bill Clinton flew on his plane 27 times post-presidency, as well as Ghislaine Maxwell had a front row seat at Chelsea Clinton's wedding. So, no one's accusing the Clintons of wrongdoing, but we have a lot of questions because there's a suspicion that Epstein was either an asset for the U.S. government, or he was a spy, or even a double or triple agent. We're concerned from a national security standpoint. Was Epstein trading secrets with other governments? Was he trading secrets to be able to lure the most powerful and richest men in the world to his properties around the world? Just a lot of questions, and hopefully the Clintons will answer our questions and we can take this information and move forward with the investigation.
You know, Chairman, we
just remembering how many times Epstein went to the White House under Clinton, that's wild.
Played this for our audience because we wanted to understand and showcase the fact that some of this is really bipartisan. You saw Congressman Robert Garcia of California just moments ago saying, yeah, they have questions for the Clintons too. Are you talking with Republicans who are also in those Epstein files?
Absolutely. But what you're going to see, and I'm trying to be nonpartisan in this investigation, because I think the American people overwhelmingly agree, regardless of ideology, that people need to be held accountable for this. And people have a lot of questions about how Epstein was able to amass so much wealth and was able to surround himself with the most powerful men in the world. So we're going to bring Republicans in. We've deposed Alex Acosta and Bill Barr, both former cabinet secretaries in the Trump administration. I think that it's very likely to see a former person that was involved in Republican circles in. But the truth of the matter is about 85% of the people that were prominent who were involved with Epstein are Democrats. So we're going to continue to question whoever they are, regardless of political party or political identification. But the fact of the matter is the majority of the people were Democrats.
So interesting. And what we've seen this week with what's happening across the pond in Great Britain, and they're scooping up of, you saw the investigation touch so many people in leadership.
So we will see how
House Oversight Committee Chair.
How it plays out. I guess there's concern or critiques or criticism saying that the stuff that was released removed the Republicans' names, but I mean, the Democrats had this stuff 8 years under Obama, 4 years under the final Obama third term with Biden as their puppet. They didn't release anything. So, what do you want me to say about that? What am I supposed to do with that? Not much I can do with that. We're finally getting to the bottom of it now, and that's under Trump and the Republicans. See, Jesse Waters reminding us, Obama and Clinton operative Larry Summers has resigned from Harvard amid ties to Epstein. Bill Gates just confessed to flying on Epstein's plane and having 2 affairs with Russian women. Did he confess to that? Even the ex-Norwegian prime minister who handed Obama his Nobel Prize, his Peace Prize, being investigated for taking gifts and travel and loans from Epstein. The Skiff tells us, since the Epstein files release and Ghislaine Maxwell's testimony about Epstein helping to start the Clinton Foundation and the U.S. aid and shady non-governmental organization connections to child trafficking and people like Laura Silsby, who was caught trafficking 33 children from Haiti, start to make a lot more sense. Silsby wasn't just caught once trafficking children, but twice. The Clintons had complete control over all of the contracts for the rebuilding effort. Oh, yeah, in Haiti. If you weren't connected to the Clintons, you didn't get a piece of the billions of dollars of U.S. aid and NGO taxpayer dollars, overcharging for everything and pocketing the rest, where Haiti received less than 3% of the total $11 to $16 billion slush fund. That is atrocious, with a total of 6 houses built. The Clintons ended up hiring a lawyer for Silsby after she was caught trafficking children the second time. Why are the Clintons even involved? The only problem was that Jorge Puello, Silsby's lawyer, was actually a fugitive and wanted himself for the trafficking and abuse of minors, along with his wife, who were both later arrested and charged. This child trafficking ring is worldwide and connected to U.S. aid, shady NGOs, and some of the most powerful elites in the world. Disguised to help children when in reality they're the ones trafficking the children. There are no coincidences, according to the skiff. Hans Monkey reminds us that Russiagate began 10 years ago today, documented in a Clinton campaign email discussing their Swift boat project to smear Trump. So much evil was set in motion that day, and yet absolutely no one has ever been held accountable. Liz Harrington says, if the Clinton depositions are this limited, what are we doing here? Citing this report, the Clintons and members of the House Oversight Committee agreed to 5 topic areas for the depositions. A person familiar with the agreement told CNN. You know, you can't really trust these unnamed reports, we know. But let's see what they're saying and see how it adds up. Alleged mismanagement of the federal government's investigation into Epstein and Maxwell. The circumstances and subsequent investigations of Epstein's 2019 death. The ways the federal government could effectively combat sex trafficking rings. How Epstein and Maxwell sought to curry favor to protect their illegal activities. And potential violations of ethics rules related to elected officials. We shall see. You know, this thing was so wild, I had to ask if this was a skit. Apparently, Grok says it's not.
One way black people achieve true liberation, that's by taking it in blood. There has to be blood all over the floor. There has to be bodies on the floor. There has to be people screaming and crying. That is the reality. And this is what history shows me. No amount of begging, no amount of complaining, no amount of protesting, nada is going to get you your liberation until you take it with blood. You see? So this...
Democrats are overtly, covertly, surreptitiously pushing for violence.
This is why I sit back and I don't play along with any of these black people talking about it's a spiritual war and this, that, because when those cops are going into our neighborhoods and shooting our babies, that's a physical thing. You see, y'all so worried about the spiritual world, and all, but you're not worrying about the world that's right in your face. When we're getting thrown in prison, that's a physical thing, right? Address the physical. You see?
I mean, that comment almost makes it seem like people are being thrown in prison for literally no reason. That's usually not how that works.
See, this is why I say don't hit my phone until y'all ready to do what y'all know we got to do. When y'all ready to go outside and hunt them white boys, hunt them cops, go to that white boy's neighborhood and fuck his shit up, when y'all ready to do what y'all know we got to do, hit me. But until then, I'm not playing around with y'all because it's all of these excuses for why we don't want to do it. Why? Many of us are scared. You know what I mean? Many of us are complacent in our oppression. You know, many of us don't want to burn the relationships we have with white people, all of these things. So I'm going to sit back and do my thing. When y'all ready to go outside and take blood, hit me anytime. But you see, a lot of us are not ready to do that. But I'm trying to tell y'all, there is no freedom. There is no liberation for our people until there's blood on that floor, on that battlefield. And that's the truth we don't want to admit.
Wow. Thomas Sowell quotes, put that in quotes, the only way blacks will get liberation is in blood and hunting whites. We asked if it was a skit and if this person was arrested. No, it doesn't appear to be a skit. Speaker delivers an earnest, unscripted rant from what seems to be a real TikTok video circulating since April 2015, advocating violent liberation via blood in hunting whites and cops. No public reports name the individual or confirm any arrest.
One way black people achieve true liberation.
That's usually my first question. Is this a skit? Grok says no. Liza Rosen says in Pakistan, girls are considered a family burden, so Muslim fathers often discard newborn babies by throwing them into garbage piles. Headlines periodically emerge about this horrific practice after local residents hear cries and pull out the babies. Indeed, Pakistani Muslim fathers don't even bother killing the infants before throwing them away. Almost all the dead babies suffered until their last breath, either from suffocation, being crushed under garbage, or dying of thirst. This is insane. In Islam, women and girls are treated worse than animals. Not all cultures are equal. Mail Online says hundreds of dead newborn girls found dumped in garbage piles in Pakistan. over the last year as cultural preference for boys drives more parents to murder babies. That is just horrific. We asked Grok if it was true, and they said yes. Reports from Eddy Foundation, Chippa Welfare, Dawn, CNN, and others confirm hundreds of newborns, 99% girls, are found dead or abandoned in Pakistani's garbage dumps a year. 1,200 in 2010. Some are alive when dumped. Locals rescue them when hearing cries. My God. But the Quran does explicitly condemn infanticide. It's cultural, socioeconomic, not religious doctrine. Similar patterns existed pre-Islam in parts of Asia. So if you wanted to know, there's a little bit of context there on that terrible story. Let's check in on the terrible Tim Waltz.
Well, we're proposing a ban on military assault rifles, high-capacity magazines, ensuring accountability among responsible gun owners. These should be easy lifts, safe storage, reporting your weapons when they're lost or stolen, closing the ghost gun loophole, implements a firearm insurance requirement, establishes a firearm and ammunition tax, and creates and expands early intervention resources, including school resources, working to go back upstream to prevent anything that happened in Annunciation to ever happen again. These are common sense measures. But we're proposing a ban on military assault rifles.
NRA says law-abiding gun owners are once again being attacked. Governor Tim Waltz unveils a sweeping anti-Second Amendment package banning commonly owned rifles, standard magazines, and more. This clown is attacking our civil liberties. He must be impeached for this. These are non-negotiable things. Let's check in on New Mexico Democrat Representative Teresa Leger Fernandez with some insane claims.
Betrayal, I think, is key because that's why we are also seeing that Trump and the Republicans don't want us to vote. They don't want women to vote. They don't want working families to vote because their agenda and their policies are so bad that they know that without the SAVE Act, which the only thing it's going to save is their electoral butts in November, they are going to lose.
Yeah. They don't want women to vote. They don't want working families to vote. So Democrats think women and working families are incapable of showing voter ID. That is insane to say something like that out loud. Arthur McWaters tells us about the rape of England. Number of police reported rape offenses in England and Wales shot way up in 2013-14. And that was 20,000, and now it's triple that, 60,000 more. 70,000 looks like. That is just unreal. Elon says, and this number is greatly underreported. Actual numbers are much worse. Come on, England. You got to stand up. Yeah, you're right, Lake Leon. Do not infringe, period. Do not infringe, period. There is now a Sharia-free caucus, by the way. Representative Keith Self says Sharia-free America caucus is now 44 members strong, representing 21 different states. On to 50 members from half the country in no time. We will defend our country and our American way of life from Sharia, which is incompatible with our Bill of Rights and Constitution. Wall Street Mav says this is Cathal Kelly. He's a loser from Canada who wrote in his column, "The State of the Union was a zoo, and Team USA, the monkeys." I'm sorry, what? What's the problem there? Okay, dork. Wasn't there a guy that said, we're not monkeys? And then this guy's calling Team USA monkeys. I thought you can't call anyone monkeys. Right? Even though there's a lot of humans that do have resemblances of all shapes and sizes, by the way. All colors, all shapes, all sizes. Chris Curtis says a refresher on the Boston Globe's editorial when Tim Thomas declined President Obama's invite to the White House after the Stanley Cup win. Oh. Well, that showed President Obama. Bruins goaltender Tim Thomas skipped the team's Stanley Cup celebration at the White House in protest Monday, claiming the federal government has grown out of control. President was undoubtedly inconsolable. More likely, though, the only thing that Thomas's protest accomplished was to show a lack of respect for his team. The ceremony was a non-political event meant to honor the Bruins and their fans. Instead, Thomas made it about himself. Like everyone else, Thomas is entitled to his political beliefs. But nobody was asking the goaltender to endorse Obama's policies. He should have just had the class to show up. Yeah, see, that's what people are saying about the women's hockey team. Presidents of both parties have hosted winning teams for decades. It's a way for the nation to honor champions. In that time, many players have met with presidents whose politics they don't like. Yeah, you know what? I am no fan or supporter of Barack Obama. I think his wild work with the grand conspiracy is something that needs to be studied and needs to be, I think he deserves a prosecution for it. But if I had the chance to go to the White House and talk to him, you'd better believe that I would have taken that chance. And I would have told him to his face, like I told Piers Morgan to his face, I completely disagree with your opinions on the Second Amendment. I would have went and made my voice heard. Thomas is deeply wrong in regarding the White House and the presidency, revered symbols of the nation as mere emblems for the federal bureaucracy. It's a sad comment on the times when national institutions are reduced to fodder for political slapshots. Well, compare that to how they've been handling Team USA women's hockey deciding not to go. Richard Grinnell says Abigail Spanberger was known to her colleagues in the IC as a failure because she was unable to grasp the focus of the CIA without partisanship. She was frustrated by the mission of the CIA and the demand to keep politics out of the job. Ultimately, she left to be an open Democrat activist. Her colleagues complained about her attempts to politicize intelligence at every turn. Jeff Clark says, as many of us argued from the jump, Fani Willis was colluding with the Biden White House, the Biden DOJ, and the J6 committee. Now the documents have come out proving that to be true. It says providing that to be true. I think they meant proving. They were withheld from the Georgia defendants on spurious privilege grounds. And this is a disgrace. Let's see how that shakes out. Yes, Eric Daughtry, 4 Republican senators are a no or leaning no on a talking filibuster to pass the Save America Act with 50+1 votes. That's a shame. Got to get that fixed. Let's see. Wild Video says Nigeria becomes the first country to ban white and British models in all advertising. We have 200 million beautiful people here. We will use our own. Jeez. Funny how that works. That post has been seen 27 million times. We ask if it's a parody or skit. They said, no, it's not a parody skit. Nigeria's Archon policy from August 22 bans all foreign, non-Nigerian citizens, models, and voiceovers in ads targeted at or shown in Nigeria to promote local talent, No race-specific wording. Any Nigerian, including white ones, can appear. The viral post recirculates the old rule with a sensational white and British headline and a fabricated quote. Old news twisted for clicks. So we should know the difference on that one if you see it. I'm not trying to... I ask a lot of questions. I don't know what I'm looking at half the time when I log in. What is this? Man, so much race stuff today as we scan the news. Ashley says, black men with white women are 2% of the population, but 75% of advertisements. Seems like there might be an agenda here. Is there? Well, I see something like this, and I ask Grok, is this accurate? The population part is roughly accurate. Black and white married couples are 0.9% of the U.S. married couples, according to 2017 to 21 census data. 554,000 total, with black men, white women as a majority at 390,000. That's well under 2% of the overall adult population or couples. The ads claim isn't. Independent content analysis of 2019 to 2021. Studies of TV commercials finds interracial couples in 10 to 19% of ads overall. Now, that is overrepresented versus population share, but black males and white females specifically make up only 30% of those racial depictions, or 5 to 6% of all ads. The collage is a selective sample, not 75%. Brands push diversity for broader appeal, not literal population mirroring. Allegedly. So here's Surgeon General nominee Casey Means. She's up there talking, and let's take a listen to what she has to say. Do we like her?
Mental and physical health are unraveling from shared root causes that we can fix. Preventable heart disease, our #1 killer in men and women, is emblematic of a nation with a broken heart. Diabetes, representing cellular energy collapse, is draining our human potential. Dementia, depression, and neurodevelopmental decline reflects a society losing its mind. Our bodies are telling us this current path is totally unsustainable. There is another way, a path that unites rigorous science with reverence for our miraculous bodies and planet, and brings Americans and our medical institutions together around actual healing and prevention. This path is also economically sound, with the potential to save trillions of dollars annually. As I sit here in the early months of motherhood, I feel profound awe at the privilege we have as adults to create a better world for future generations. And that is why I'm here. As Surgeon General, I would call on every American and the Public Health Service to join in a great national healing, one that halts preventable chronic disease, makes healthy living the easiest choice, honors the body's connection to the environment, and puts America back on the road towards wholeness and health. I look forward to answering your questions. Thank you.
We're just now getting Surgeon General. Did we not? Have we not had a Surgeon General before this? I mean, I know we did, but was the position vacant, or was there a term that ran out? I'm not sure how we got to this exactly. If anyone knows, let me know, because I don't know. Here's Mark Wayne Mullen firing back at Bernie Sanders, talking about Surgeon General.
No, you're going to attack me. I'm going to respond. I'm pointing out facts. You can say what you want. I'm just pointing out facts. No. Anyways, I ranted too long. Let's talk about some.
Yes, you did.
I'm sorry, I didn't ask your opinion on that. And if I cared about your opinion, I would ask you. But I don't care about your opinion. Well, you're part of the system. You're part of the problem. You've been sitting here longer than I've even been alive. This is your problem. You should have fixed this a long time ago. No,
that is a great clapback to this Muppet. He really is a Muppet, right? Sort of looks like it to me. Bernie Sanders and Trump Surgeon General nominee Dr. Casey Means. Guess what? They agree on something. What's this?
As you know, the United States and New Zealand are the only two countries in the world that allow the pharmaceutical industry to advertise on TV. I believe we should ban those ads. How do you feel?
I agree with you.
Okay. As you know,
Okay. Well, what do you know about that? Okay. That would be pretty nice. Zero Hedge says horrific new data reveals thousands of children mutilated under the Biden regime. Gender transitioning on minors by the numbers. 5,700 surgical mutilation. 14,000 minors underwent sex change treatments. 8,500 children received hormones and puberty blockers. 62,000 sex change prescriptions were written for children. That is just awful. Oh my God, look at this meme. I didn't see this one before, but oh my God. We like to help the mentally ill, says the Nazis. Then the rainbow people say, we do too. Then he says, by sterilizing and experimenting on them. And she replies, we do too. Oh, that is brutal. Oh, wow. CBS News says U.S. women's hockey star Kelly Panic reiterates the team missed the State of the Union over logistical challenges. Oh, really now? Not the Trump joke. Uh-huh. Terry says, my friends have daughters on that team. There was no issue with the president at all. They look forward to their White House visit soon. And by the way, to be fair, President Trump did seemingly suggest that they'll be coming soon, and they're looking forward to it. So maybe that is the case, but it doesn't feel like that's the case, does it? We said that's a lie, CBS. Hillary's out there complaining that the men's celebration, President Trump shouting out the women's team was distasteful and unfortunate. That's wrong. What's distasteful and unfortunate is not capitalizing on this moment to be bitter, angry, awful shrews and not Olympians. In her words.
No, I just thought the joke was distasteful and unfortunate.
I thought the joke was distasteful and unfortunate. They're telling you right there. They think the joke was distasteful and unfortunate. Dude, they gave you a shout out during the men's moment. They're giving you free advertising. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I just thought the joke was distasteful and unfortunate. And I think, just the way women are represented, it's a great teaching point to really shine light on how women should be championed for their amazing feats. And now I have to sort of and anybody has to sit in front of you and explain someone else's behavior. It's not my responsibility.
You're so stunning and brave. Girl on the left is like, yeah, you go, girl. And these two on the right are like, shut the fuck up. Can you see the difference in how their facial expressions are?
And now I have to sort of and anybody has to sit in front of you and explain someone else's behavior. It's not my responsibility. But what is shifting the focus and shifting the narrative of this amazing accomplishment that we all did together. And granted, the men's and the women's team did it together, and that is super special. It's never been done in our program's history. It's something we're extremely
Oh, that's the first time? Maybe you could have shown up and we could have talked about that, but you didn't.
proud about. But these women are amazing, and whatever is going on shouldn't never outshine or minimize their work and our success on the world stage. This was the best American women's hockey team, the best American team we've ever put together on a world stage when the lights have been the brightest ever. And so I think everybody felt that, going through the tournament. and I want to celebrate. I want people to be remembered for that. I want the legacy of this team to be remembered. And so that's what I'm trying to, shift the narrative on and really focus on championing what we've done and what we've accomplished the last 2.5 weeks together. No, I just thought the joke was distasteful and unfortunate. And I think.
Oh, shut up. If you don't like us, then we don't like you. Few care about lady hockey, but we were willing to prop you up, sing your praise, provide kudos. But since you're going to act this way, piss off. Go slide into irrelevance and a social justice warrior, toxic soup to swim in. It's just such a missed opportunity there. But that's on them, isn't it? John Thune talking about the Save America Act.
What's your message to the Republicans in your conference who are pushing over and over?
No, they can't take a joke.
You can do this with the talk of filibuster.
Well, there are a couple things about that. One is, once we get on, if we were to go down that path, it's very hard to pivot and get back to open up the government. I frankly think we ought to. We need a deal, make sure that DHS, TSA, Coast Guard, FEMA, all those agencies are funded. And so I'm hopeful there will be a breakthrough on that. That's going to require some, obviously cooperation from the Democrats, who we haven't seen a lot of so far. But we want to get to the SAVE Act. We also, as I mentioned, we've got a housing bill that we can pivot back and forth to if we get a deal to open up the government. That's harder to do once you're in the throes of a talking filibuster. The talking filibuster issue is one on which there is not certainly a unified Republican conference, and there would have to be. If you go down that path, you're talking about the need to table what are going to be numerous amendments and an ability to keep 50 Republicans unified pretty much on every single vote. And there isn't support for doing that at this point. As I've said, and we will get on it, and we will have a vote on the SAVE Act. The context of that, the process in which we consider it is still an open question, but one that we're having conversations about, but clearly not a unified position, at least among Republicans in the Senate.
But it sounds like that vote might be subject to a 60 vote threshold. Is that what you're saying?
I think that's obviously a very real possibility.
Leader Thune, on tariffs specifically, the president last.
We shall see. I do think there is a little bit of frustration because it's like, I don't think he thinks they're going to be able to get the votes. So why are we going to do it? You got to whip the votes together. You got to make it happen. You absolutely have to make it happen. Here's this Jayapal. Is she the one saying KKK? Was that her?
I want to talk about one tactic the president used last night, calling on members to stand, especially this one moment. Take a look.
If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens. You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself.
They have no shame.
And that second part, addressing the Democrats who stayed seated, the president clearly trying to box Democrats in there. What was the message Democrats who stayed seated were intending to send?
The message is that he's the one who should be ashamed of himself.
I want to talk about one tactic the president used last night.
Yeah, for prioritizing America over non-Americans. We said America is ashamed of Jayapal and her ilk, actually. If that's what we're talking about. Let's be clear about it. Americans are ashamed of her. Make no mistake, the Democrats hate America and we hate them in return. Retire every single Democrat everywhere in every election and save America. Laura Ingraham says, well, she shares this. This is the Grand Rapids Mayor David LeGrand pushing for what? Well,
if my dog did what I saw in that video, I put my dog down. Like, it is time that that we ask, what are dogs good for? Like, if you need a
what? God, what are dogs good for? Absolutely nothing, says the Muslim. Yeah.
dog to find somebody in the woods, go get a hound dog, right? If you need to chase somebody in a backyard, why couldn't you do that with a drone? If my dog did what I saw in that video, I'd put my dog down, right? So the question is, I think we are overdue to have a real now, but there is there's got to be a process for this. So how this starts, it's just a civics lesson. So how this starts is you have hearings on this, and you bring this to public safety, and you say, what is our current dog policy? And then you ask, why do you have dogs for this if you actually are doing this? And then you change the policy. And I am telling you that I am committed to trying to have that. Now, and the other thing to know is you need 4 votes to write policy, okay? So I'm committed to starting this conversation. That's all I can honestly promise you right now, because it takes 4 votes to write policy. I am one of 7 votes on the city commission.
So Brandon Straka says the Grand Rapids mayor pushing for canine units to be put down after an officer-involved shooting. When officials start targeting police dogs, pay attention to who's driving the pressure. Laura Ingram says, yeah, here's the answer. More dogs. Yeah, Ricky Gervais with a whole ad campaign in Great Britain about dogs, in England, the UK, however, England, Europe. I think it was England specifically. But there's a question.
If my dog...
What would you prefer? Dogs or Sharia? Because they're incompatible. We pick America. We pick our Bill of Rights and Civil Liberties. I'm not even a dog fan. Rachel Ruthless here says, sentenced to 110 years for 3 separate kidnap and rapes. She was the first victim, but the last to see a conviction due to the DNA not being processed for years. Waited 12 years to find out the name of my monster. I was promised he would not see parole until 90 years old. 13 years later, notified a change in the law was giving this monster the opportunity to parole early. First parole hearing denied, and the board stayed 5 years before the next hearing. 22 months later, we were in parole hearing number 2, and he was granted parole. We got Gavin Newsom's attention, but instead of making a decision, he threw this back to the NBank board. He went to NBank, and they did not seem to even pay attention. Their decision had already been made, and this monster was granted and walked out of the prison. Democrats don't want safe, clean cities. Officer involved. What was Grand Rapids dog officer involved shooting story TLDR version? February 18th, a week and a half ago or so, a man, Daquane Johnson, on a bike, allegedly armed with a gun. Officers attempted to stop him. He fled on a bike to an apartment complex parking lot. Police deployed canine unit. Johnson was taken down. The dog bit and engaged him on his left arm and left side per body cam. Family claims neck and mauling. Officers say he resisted arrest and reached for a gun with his right hand while face down, and the dog was on him. The officer fired multiple shots, 3 heard on video, killing Johnson, who died at the hospital the next morning. Handgun recovered at the scene. Police narrative justified self-defense. Officers feared for their lives and the dogs as he allegedly reached for a weapon despite commands to stop and drop it. Family community bystander counter narrative. Johnson was face down on the ground, hands behind his back, already subdued by the dog when shot, possibly execution style in the back of the head. Bystander video, widely shared, unverified officially, shows different angles suggesting he wasn't reaching or threatening. Family from Angelica Johnson and supporters claim excessive force, police brutality, and that the canine was overly aggressive, mauling him even after the shots. Outrage calls to... You're not outraged about the guy. You're outraged about the dog, I guess. Use of force, pursuit rules, gun ownership rhetoric. Gun owners should be ashamed, and he'd put down the canine if it were his. Oh, Mayor LeGrand controversially said gun owners should be ashamed. What an asshole. GRPD released some footage, but won't release more. No charges filed yet. Fresh case, polarizing views. Armed suspect resisting. So yeah, that's the story there. Gavin Newsom wants violence in your streets, wants crazy people out here. CBS Morning spent 2 minutes harping on President Trump's joke about women's hockey that did not land well for some. They just can't let it go, says Rich Lowry. And we said, you know what? He gave them a kudos and joked he'd probably be impeached if they didn't come. It wasn't a slight, it was a shout out. You're wrong. It was in the men's celebratory moment. He told the men that the women would be coming as well. Kudos and jokes. Jokes that he'd probably be impeached if they didn't come. It wasn't a slight, it was a shout out. Women's hockey made a massive mistake not attending. Yeah. Okay. Democrat Representative Gil Cisneros. Check this out.
Everybody in that room yesterday, all the members of Congress took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. And the president's speech was just very performative. And one of the things, most performative things that he tried to do was to kind of like put a thing on Democrats when he said, like, are you going to, everybody, if you think you should be supporting American citizens over illegal immigrants, stand up. You know, that's wrong, right? And everybody on that side.
No, that's not wrong, right?
You know, that's wrong, right? And everybody on that side who stood up knows it's wrong. Everybody.
No. Cisneros and the Democrats are wrong about this and about just every. Okay, hold on, let me try this again. Cisneros and the Democrats are wrong about this and just about every important issue. Vote Democrat, every Democrat into retirement. Man, I'll be able to read this eventually. Democrats are floundering to clean up the mess from the State of the Union, but they're failing. Jason Rantz from Seattle Red radio host.
The president was setting up Democrats in a really simple and easy way. They shouldn't have fallen for it. It seems pretty easy to stand up and say, actually, no, I support American people first. That is where I stand. And we can have a.
Okay, Jason Rantz is the author of What's Killing America. I guess he's on the President Trump side. Looking like Eddie Munster a little bit there.
Nuanced conversation afterwards if you want about illegal immigration. But they walked into that trap because it was so easy to set.
Well, but that's not true. I mean, I stand for
most Democrats did not stand.
I stand for Americans over non-citizens, and so do all of my colleagues. But just because it's not the Galactic Senate, just because the Emperor says rise doesn't mean I get up. Like I'm a different.
You rose sometimes.
I'm a different branch of government. I rose for the heroes that were in the gallery, not because the president.
But not for the other point. I mean, you rose because and. Thank you for rising. I think in those cases that this is an easy moment to be united, whether it's around Team USA or it's around any of the people who were featured there. But that's sending a message that you agree with the statement or the sentiment, and you chose not to stand.
Well, I'm sure if Joe Biden told Republicans to rise, they would have leapt from their seats.
But to that point, doesn't that happen at every single State of the Union address? The president says something innocuous. The party that is the opposite party doesn't stand. That happens every single year.
Yeah, but I don't feel like
why we're pretending like
oh, it's not innocuous. No, it's crucial because we've watched how Biden turned traitor and opened up our borders. That's not innocuous. It was super important and relevant. We said, we saw you all for what you are, America-hating traitors. You were asked by your commander-in-chief to retake your vow to the American people, and you declined. You said that you were working against Americans and should be treated as traitors. There's no spinning this. Reap the whirlwind. We see you for what you are. Nancy Pelosi complains about the State of the Union speech being too what?
So thank you so much for joining us. You have sat through a great number of State of the Union addresses, some of them behind the president. What was your reaction to what you heard this evening?
Well, first let me say that I think that Governor Spanberger did a remarkable job just insisting on the truth, which is what we have to do when we're dealing with this president. I thought the speech was lazy. You know, it's one thing to acknowledge patriotism and people getting well and everything when you have absolutely nothing to do with their courage or the rest, but you spend an hour and a half doing it. What is the state of the nation?
So thank you.
Wow. Too patriotic. It's one thing to acknowledge patriotism, but to spend an hour and a half doing it? Yeah. Democrats hate America, so let's repay the gratitude and retire every single Democrat in every single election. Enough is enough. Ann Coulter talks about this being unbelievable. The same Biden judge, Brian E. Murphy, has issued the same idiotic ruling 2 times already and been slapped down by the Supreme Court both times. Even Justice Kagan agreed with the majority the second time, saying, I don't see how a district court can compel compliance with an order that this court hasn't stayed. Department of Homeland Security et al. Versus DVD. Now, the same judge has done it again. If repeatedly ignoring the same Supreme Court order on your own ruling is not grounds for impeachment, I don't know what is. Trump administration live updates. Federal judge finds third country deportations unlawful. And so we proposed an idea to President Trump. Create a United States court. Select 2 retired judges per state. 100 votes. Judges like Murphy are referred to U.S. court and must justify their ruling or be removed if a majority of the U.S. court agrees they're wrong. Stop judicial madness. I really like the idea of you keep the Supreme Court, but we need to find a way to remove other judges if what they're ruling on cannot be legally justified. And if if they can't sway a majority of 100 people, retired judges put in a place where they're just there to oversee and make sure people aren't allowing activists on the bench to reinterpret and rewrite and create brand new law just to interpret what's actually there. If they can't make their case, yank them. Yank them, yank them, yank them. Like Leon says, Nancy's still alive. Wow, way to go, Nancy. I thought you meant the other Nancy, the Nancy, that missing lady, Guthrie. I was like, oh, did I miss some breaking news? But you mean Nancy Pelosi. This was the other clip of David LeGrand. What an awful person. Grand Rapids mayor.
Nobody changes their tire with a gun. What they're for is killing human beings. And so it's really
nobody changes their tire with a gun. What a dork.
hard. I think as a community, we have to start having some shaming around gun possession. I think if you've got a gun, you should be ashamed of yourself. I really do. Now, I'm sorry,
who is this dork?
It's going to be the soundbite of the night, and the NRA is going to be mad at me. But I get that we got a Second Amendment. I get it. But, you also should be ashamed of yourself if you smoke. That's not against the law. I think if you own a gun, you should be ashamed of yourself. And you should really do some self-reflection. And I think that I just see so much more harm, just like cigarettes. I see so much more harm done than benefit. Nobody changes their tire with a gun.
Nobody changes their life with a cigarette, you dipshit. Actually, David, Americans are ashamed of nincompoops like you who don't take your responsibility to protect this nation seriously. We are all first responders around us, the New American Media wrote. When seconds count, police are only minutes away. Guns save lives and police clean crime scenes. Wake up. Eric Schmidt says in the span of just one generation, Democrats went from having pride in America at basically the same level as Republicans to now only 1/3 of Democrats feeling that way. Republican numbers have held what's going on here. look at this massive drop-off in about 2014, after Obama's second term. And he went full tyrant. And look at this crash as they demonized everything about this country. A spike when Trump got elected, and then a big drop down afterward in 2025. Republicans currently sitting at 92, Democrats cratered to 36. $6.3 million views. Elon says they're being taught to hate America. They are. But we haven't reformed our education system to keep up. And I think that's dereliction of duty, really. Chuck Schumer is in his own bubble here, asking about an immigration deal. There's no deal.
What would an immigration deal look like?
It's where the people who are not allowed to be here are gone. And if you want to come in the right way, go in the right way. It's a college admission test. Tell us what you bring to the table. We're going through your record. We're going to look at who you are and what you've done.
Between Republicans and Democrats in the Senate.
And we'll let some of you back.
Well, we had a good model in 2013, as you may remember, bipartisan.
Yeah, hold on. That's a good point. That's when all the cheating got worse. Only way that the Democrats can win, 2015. I don't think that they did beat Mitt Romney. I can't believe that election happened. Now, I'm not a Mitt Romney fan, and I actually didn't vote for him in that election. Or was it against McCain? Maybe I held my nose and voted McCain. I think the second time around, I voted for Gary Johnson. Gary Johnson, someone who's been on my show, by the way, libertarian candidate. But yeah, okay, maybe the cheating ramped up for that election cycle too. Anyway, Schumer says they had something in place in 2013.
As you may remember, bipartisan. John McCain and I headed the Gang of Eight. We had 4 Democrats, 4 Republicans, including Marco Rubio, who's now gone to the other side on this. But we could come up with a bill like that. It toughens up the border. It gives a path to citizenship, a long, tough path to citizenship for 11 million people who are here. It allows high-tech people who are needed in our industries to come in. But it was a bill that got 70 votes in the Senate, or 68 or 69. It got Democrats and Republicans. That's the way to go.
What would an immigration...
No, that's not the way to go. You're not going to win, and you're not making all these people Democrat voters in Democrat areas that fled, hemorrhaged. We said, no, go home. Democrats do not get to win the invasion of America, full stop. No. Here's a nice, terrifying story I'll share with you tomorrow. Base Jessica says this is why the U.S. Senate doesn't have time to focus on the Steve Act to secure election for U.S. citizens and voter ID.
Oh, yeah, and the senator came too.
They had a dog parade today. Senator Tom Tillis' final dog parade featuring the dogs of Congress. They are
Everybody
useless.
knows Baby Dog's story, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering who this lady was. Kat Kamek, Republican, Florida, purposely infiltrated the Democrat side of the aisle during Trump's State of the Union, enthusiastically standing up and clapping for America so the cameras caught the stark contrast. That's pretty... I was wondering who this was. Now I know. This is good.
So we actually have a little something tonight for our friends on the left, and you'll have to tune in to see what we're planning. I think that that's really what people saw last night, was that clear divide of people who are willing to stand up for America and those that are going to sit on their hands. And so you saw that clear divide in the room. I was the only Republican sitting on the Democrat side because I believe you need to lead by example. We're willing to stand for America, and they just want to sit it out. That is what America needs to think about when they go to vote in these November midterms. America is back, baby.
Okay, we can't have Freebird
We
play.
are so excited. I might go run through the Capitol playing Freebird.
There you go. What a night. What a night. What a night. Good on her. Every camera angle showed 0 Dems clapping or standing around her, exposing them perfectly. Oh, here you go.
People saw last night was that clear divide of people who are willing. So we actually have a little something tonight for our friends on the left.
Okay.
And you'll have to tune in to see what we saw last night was that clear.
So defeated. Nova campaign says this man murdered a woman in Fairfax, Virginia Monday, stabbed her at the bus stop after he got off with her. He'd had violent charges dropped year after year repeatedly by Fairfax prosecutor Steve Descano. Instead of being in jail, he stabbed a woman to death. This is death by Dems. Shame on the Democrats. They don't want safe and clean cities. And you want to vote every one of them out of office, always, everywhere. Okay? Can we agree with this? I think we should. Detectives are seeking Abdul Jallo, 32. Looks like the guy that offed Irina Zarutska. Crazy guy on a bus. Our victim, Hybla Valley. He's dangerous. Don't make an attempt to interact with him. Yeah, but the courts keep letting him out. 30 plus arrests. 5-time malicious wounding. Attempted murder. 4-time assault and battery. These people need to be put in a cage if you will not stop violating people's rights. Goodness, everybody. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer makes a surprise statement here. Check this out.
Michigan is open for business. New factories making batteries, cars, chips are opening in Marshall, Lake Orion, Holland, Bay City, Calumet, Hemlock, Ann Arbor, and Delta Township. A new fighter mission is coming to Selfridge Air National Guard Base in Macomb County. Probably not on the bingo card, but I want to thank President Trump for his work on this. Michigan is open for business.
No, for the love of God, take the easy wins when you have them. Take the easy wins as you find them. It'll definitely win you some brownie points and get you a little bit of credibility if you can act like a decent human being. Kunal Swami says, just in 4 years of war between Russia and Ukraine, Russian President Putin says this. The enemy may even stoop to the point of using nuclear weapons like dirty bombs.
And
well, here.
The enemy uses all kinds of ways of using terrorist attacks. They will even stoop as low as using dirty nuclear weapons, probably knowing how it's going to end ultimately. And
that is the rumor, that they're trying to stall and use a dirty bomb. This is no bueno. Secretary Rubio is kind of laying out Russia-Ukraine in a way that more people need to listen to.
We're the only country or only entity on the planet that's been able to achieve having Russian negotiators and Ukrainian negotiators sit at a table and talk to one another. And for a war as horrible as this is a very important position for us to be in that we don't want to forfeit. Because if we walk away or if we foreclose that, then who's going to do it? The United Nations isn't going to do it. France isn't going to do it. The EU isn't going to do it. The Russians won't even speak to them. So we don't want to walk away from the. We know that at the end, the war in Ukraine, does not have a military solution. That war will be settled through a negotiation. We're the only country or only entity on.
They're trying. I hope they can stop that. What is this? Russia Today reports this, that Russia and Ukraine swapped Poland soldiers. Top Russian negotiator Mamdani confirmed. 1,000 bodies of Ukrainian troops exchanged for 35 Russian soldiers. Just seeing that is, I mean, it's horrifying. Absolutely horrific. Please stop this carnage. I don't want to see this stuff continuing. Vice President J.D. Vance discussing the Russia-Ukraine narrative, kind of resetting things.
Ukraine and Russia, 5 years now. Eastern
5
Europe
years
has been
of this shit.
exploding. Is Vladimir Putin simply putting you off in these on-again, off-again talks as they go?
Bill, I think we've been engaged in very, very deliberate negotiations with both the Russians and the Ukrainians. Obviously, the Russians have some red lines, the Ukrainians have some red lines, and the president has just set the entire team from Marco Rubio on down to try to bring the killing to a close. You know, it's hard. As the president has said multiple times, he thought this was going to be the easiest war to solve. I agreed with him. It has turned out to be much more difficult. But I think that we're making progress, Bill. I think we're making progress with both the Russians and the Ukrainians. And we're just going to keep working at it. You know, eventually we're either going to be successful or we're not going to be. Right now, I think the president has some good optimism that we can bring this thing to a successful close. It's bad for the world. It's bad for America. So we're going to keep working at it.
You can certainly understand how people look at this from the outside and think that Putin is just buying time, right?
Well, Bill, you know, this point, I understand this point, and sure, I'm sure that Vladimir Putin has his military objectives, and obviously he hasn't stopped the killing, even though the president wants that very much to happen. But the way to solve this is to continue to engage in diplomacy. And so that's what the president has asked us to do. We're under no illusions that these guys are going to, you know, meet in the middle of a field, give each other a hug and sing Kumbaya. That's why we're engaged in the diplomacy that we are engaged in. We are optimistic that we can get to a point where both the Russians and the Ukrainians feel they've accomplished enough of what they need to bring the killing to a stop. That's what the president has set us out to do.
All right, big stakes on both those topics now. Let's
big stakes. As John B. Wells has repeatedly told me over the years, you know, Brian, I say this all the time. You could either laugh or you could cry. I choose to laugh. God.
And on a patriot.
Enough of what they need to bring the killing to a stop. That's what the president has set us out to do.
All right, big stakes on both those topics now. Let's end.
Big stakes. Gunther Eagleman says it would be much easier if Democrats and their cronies in the media didn't run every story about Russia and Ukraine in a light that casts doubt on Trump's deal-making ability. That's pretty damn true. Mike Celentano has thoughts on Ukraine, Russia.
I don't like this Somalian
too much music.
America or Taliban America. I'm not into it.
Yeah, I can't hear too much music. But he's not all that into it. He said, forget Russia and Ukraine. We've got our own problems. You get the point. All right. Wolf Blitzer and Ilhan Omar.
Congressman Al Green was escorted out of the House chamber.
Congressman Al Green was escargot.
Congressman Al Green was escorted.
Escargot.
Congressman Al Green was escorted out of the House chamber just minutes into President Trump's State of the Union address for holding a sign reading, "Black people aren't apes."
Dude. Are you sick and tired of the Democrat theatrics yet?
What was your reaction to that?
I mean, isn't it just a sad moment for our country?
And it's also sad when people compared him to the Geico guy. Because, come on.
When a member of Congress has to remind the President of the United States that black people aren't apes.
She said that needed to happen. No, that did not need to happen. This guy is an embarrassment. He's done it 2 years in a row. He's an absolute embarrassment.
I mean, just for a moment, think about that.
I will think about that. Okay.
I mean, just for a moment, think about that. Al was escorted because he refused to sit down. And I stand with Al. I think it is an important moment in our
It's such an important moment.
nation's history.
Remember, President Trump shared a 60-second clip of election fraud findings in Georgia. The end of the clip, the 61st second, rolled into a parody of Lion King, depicting all of the political leaders. Trump was the Lion King. I don't know who, Adam Schiff and Pelosi and Obama, and they were superimposed onto characters. President Trump didn't show that. That was the next video that came up that had nothing to do with what he was talking about. And everything is hair on fire theatrics. Oh my gosh, can you believe the latest thing that happened? Oh, it's insufferable. I can't believe that awful, awful Trump. Get over yourselves.
That we have to take stands like that.
You don't have to take stands like that. You're making a mockery of yourself.
We have to remind a sitting president that we...
She's making no point. She's talking about bananas and rice. She said the same thing. I know, it's the Somali bananas and rice lady that answers the same question by saying, we're more than bananas and rice. And then in the final 50 seconds, she says bananas and rice 7 more times. So we're like bananas and rice. And you go, what did I just listen to? She's just repeated herself. She said nothing new, nothing interesting here. She's repeated.
Black people are not apes.
And as a lot of us, of course, remember, it was Trump who posted on social media that horrible racist picture of...
President Trump shared a 60-second video about election fraud in Georgia. You know how you watch a reel? By the way, this is how it happens to me on the New American Media. I'll share something on an Instagram. I don't know, are they posts or reels or stories? I can't keep track of which things they are. It'll be a meme dump of like 10 different things. I'll often click to the right and see, what do we have here? There might be one thing in the 10 that was like, oh, that's interesting, and I shared that. And while I'm there, I flip through it. I flipped past some horrible shit that is not something that I endorse, not something I'm suggesting is awesome, not something that I believe in. It's something that I'm seeing and scrolling past because I'm an adult. You can either act like an adult, or you can act like these two theater kids.
Michelle and Barack Obama as apes.
It was a Lion King parody where every political leader was portrayed as the head of an animal. We added, as Scott Adams says, Mrs. Scott, the Democrat Party is just a bunch of theater kids. We agree. The Democrats are full of constant antics, no viable solutions, division and distraction. Retire every Democrat everywhere so they get the message. Defiant L's put this out and it got 10.5 million views. The job of the mainstream media today is to make you think that the views of 10% of the country are actually the views of 90% of the country. Elon agreed. New American Media replied, "We have never been a 50-50 country. 80% of us are common sense folk who want clean and safe communities, opportunities, and to be left the hell alone." This is the theme of today. The tyrants constantly trick and divide us while they loot and plunder our resources. But that stops now. That stops now. David says, "This movie sucks. This movie sucks now. I've had enough." I should really say that I've had enough 25 years ago. I know. I know. I know. I know. I know. Liza Rosen puts this out. This is a Palestinian doctor at Islamic University of Gaza, allegedly warning Palestinian husbands not to seriously injure or break wives' bones or damage vital organs. He says men have a right and must beat their wives, and wife beating should be therapeutic, not vindictive. Hey, feminists, do you see that? Marion Cook says, "Her voice annoys me as well." As well. Wow. Well, how's she? As well. Well, I never. Ilhan Omar. Can't believe you're making fun of somebody's voice. Listen, lady, the thing about me is I'll make fun of everybody's fucking voice. There's nobody I won't try to mimic. So if you want to say that that's misogynistic, trying to do the Ilhan Omar, or however she says that, I would beg to differ. You're an equal opportunity chameleon voice actor. I didn't have it on my bingo card that I would be doing Bobby Kennedy doing an Ilhan Omar impression. Oh, we are through the looking glass here. We are like Inception level. Anyway, John Cleese responded to that garbage. Says, "What a load of medieval baloney. I wonder if any feminists agree with me." Yeah. Yep. Jennifer Say says, "Meeting the cultural moment is exactly what these young men did, Mary." Mary, of course, wrote this piece of trash in USA Today Sports. "The USA men's hockey team utterly failed to meet the cultural moment." Jennifer Say says, "Meeting the cultural moment is exactly what these young men did, Mary." Joyful, patriotic, proud, gracious, cheered like crazy for the gold medal winning women's team they train with and supported a widow and her children. They are precisely what we needed in this moment. But you, Mary Clark at USA Today Sports, you miserable shrew, trained to find outrage under every stone. Screw you. Arthur McWaters says this is critical. The SAVE Act is overwhelmingly popular, 84% across both parties. The silent filibuster is a total abuse of Senate procedure, allowing 40 senators to block the bill while literally sleeping. If Thune does not have the courage to at least require debate, then the SAVE Act will fail. And if it fails now, the next time the Senate flips, it's very likely that voter ID will be eliminated altogether. This would result in a permanent one-party state. They'll fundraise, gain a majority, allow a silent filibuster, get nothing done, fail to pass the SAVE Act, lose the majority. Then if national no voter ID law passes, there's a permanent one-party state. Or if they lose the majority, they resist the other team's agenda, then fundraise, gain majority, allow silent filibuster, get nothing done, lose majority, and keep on a cycle. It would be the end of democracy in America, says Elon Musk, and I agree. And that is what I wanted to share with you today. Thank you all for being here on the TNAM Daily Show, brought to you by the New American Media. Bananas and rice. Here, let's end on bananas and rice. Because I watched Ilhan Omar in that clip with Wolf Blitzer. Here, let me just for comparison. She repeats herself and says nothing. Escargot. Theater kids. Oh, you're not listening to this. Oh, doggone it. I'm sorry. I had it. I was here watching this as I pulled up the other article. My bad. I did just close that window. Jamie, come on. You do better, Jamie. Here's the side-by-side.
Congressman Al Green was escorted out of the House chamber just minutes into President Trump's State of the Union address for holding a sign reading, "Black people aren't apes." What was your reaction to that?
I mean, isn't it just a sad moment for our country when a member of Congress has to remind the President of the United States that black people aren't apes?
No, it didn't need to happen because you're a bunch of theater kids.
I mean, just for a moment, think about that.
Right. We thought about that the moment you just said it. Now you're repeating yourself because you have nothing to add.
Al was escorted because he refused to sit down. And I stand with Al. I think it is an important moment.
Now repeating herself again.
In our nation's history, that we have to take stands like that.
You didn't need to take a stand like, oh, doggone it, what'd I click?
Refuse to sit down. I think it is.
No, you didn't need to take a stand like that because you're just being theater kids trying to blow things out of proportion that had no intention that you're trying to claim they had.
An important moment in our nation's history.
Not an important moment, a very stupid, unnecessary theatrical moment.
That we have to take stands like that.
You don't need to take stands like that because you're full of it.
We have to remind a sitting president that we black people are not apes.
Yep, you repeated yourself again.
And as a lot of us, of course, remember.
Speaking of repeating yourself and speaking of Somalia, that clip there just reminded me of the bananas and rice, and we'll end it on this one.
To me, being Somali isn't just eating bananas with rice. It's
what is it
a lot. It's like it's an interesting thing. It's
an interesting thing. Stalling.
It's very hard to describe what it means to be Somali and what it means to be American. But it's like a cultural fusion. It's kind of like the bananas and rice.
Well, yeah, but it's not just that.
People don't really see,
Personally, therefore, such as I believe, they don't have maps in the Iraq and the China, and therefore they have a better future tomorrow.
It's people don't think, oh, you can eat bananas with rice.
I do.
That's what it's like to be Somali and American. It's like that combination of banana and rice.
Right,
but you're gonna get what I mean.
You're gonna get what I mean. No, I don't get what you mean because you just said the opposite, and in the same statement, you're contradicting yourself and you're rambling and repeating.
So wait a second. Bananas and rice.
Like eating it with like a cereal bowl. Acting, there's a nice act out there.
No, she's an idiot. That's pretty much just what we're.
That was funny. All right, that's what we will leave you with. A clip that's kind of like bananas and rice. We have no banana. Did you hear? They have no bananas today. I do need to get back and binge watch all of my Simpsons, for damn sure. Oh, in witchcraft, you need to repeat things for the spell to work properly. Is that true? That in witchcraft, you need to repeat things for the spell to work properly? I'm not sure if I realized that in witchcraft, you needed to repeat things for the spell to work properly. But I think I'll look into whether or not in witchcraft you need to repeat things for the spell to work properly. What is that from? That's the Twilight Zone. You have entered the Twilight Zone. Okay, yep, Lake Leon, you can call 911. Brian's officially off of his rocker at this point. I'll wrap it up there. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I'll be back tomorrow at noon. Signing out. Please hit like. Please hit subscribe. Make sure you smash the thumbs up button. Try to share the show with a friend. Grab it and share it out on your X feed. Share it out on Facebook. Put it in some groups. Invite your buddies. And, of course, we do have Rumble Rants and Super Chats and Patreon, Rumble, and YouTube subscriptions if you want to become a become 17% more awesome. There you go. That's how you do. Anyway, all right. We are living in the Twilight Zone. See, there's a good wraparound. That's a good, ties it up nicely, neatly there. We are living in the Twilight Zone. But I digress. I know, deja vu. I am repeating myself. It's just like deja vu where I would repeat myself as if the repeating brings out the essence of deja vu where I would repeat myself. All right. I appreciate you. I love you. And we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.